Mike's on BBC Radio Scotland. 2 games in the top flight kicking off at 3 o'clock, and so many Scottish Cup ties for you today. We'll bring you all the goal news. Will we see some shocks? We will find out throughout the course of the afternoon. So let's then get to the match. It also is a commentary option today. That game is at Fir Park. The pictures coming into the studio here. Derek McInnes just shaking hands with Jens Bertel, as who we can see Lawrence Shankland in the screen in front of us. A welcome return to him to the Hearts starting lineup today. Paul McGinn in the centre circle for the home side. Ian McCall is there for us. Ian, it's just one of these mouth-watering games, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I tell you what, all the talk about Motherwell, the fans are loving it, because when Motherwell ran out, what a noise the home fans made. It almost drowned out the Hearts fans, who've got, I don't know, many, got the whole stand's absolutely mobbed. So the atmosphere is going to be fantastic. Really, really looking forward to the game, Kenny.
Ian, you know Lawrence Shankland very well, of course. We know what he brings to the side in terms of goals, but I'm thinking as a personality, as a leader now, how big a loss is he when he's out?
Yeah, I mean, I think as Terry would know, it's absolutely huge. And the leader thing, I think it's evolved in the last 2 or 3 years, and there was a game recently that was even actually when he scored his goal for Scotland. I saw his reaction and how he was encouraging and cajoling players on. So it's certainly that's just kicked off, Kenny. He's certainly improved that, evolved that, and he's a huge miss when he doesn't play for Hearts.
Yeah, he was telling the Scotland team to keep the ball better after he scored, Ian, which we're laughing, but it's the evolution of that. A, confidence, and B, he's obviously got that respect within the squad where he's confident enough to say that, and he's certainly, if he can stay fit, and
that's why they were all shouting at Kenny McLean in the last minute, keep the ball.
Well, that's true, but no, Shankland's grown into the captaincy and the Scotland international jersey immensely over the last couple of years.
Right, we'll keep a very close eye on that, because it's the first time watching Motherwell live this season for both Ian, who is on open all mics, and Ryan Stevenson, who is in commentary duty. We'll hear from Ryan at half time. Let's get to Dens Park then. Dundee at home to St Mirren. It's another big game there today, Alan, isn't it?
It is, Kenny. We're just about to kick off. They've clearly got a new tannoy system, so I'm maybe not sure that they're going to be moving stadium soon if they've just done that. Some racket here, to be honest. Not a big crowd. 2 teams that are struggling for form, but St Mirren are 2 weeks away for a cup final. Might be the only cup final that some of these players get to play in, so they've got to put on a really good performance for their manager. And for me, Stephen Presley keeps saying that good performances doesn't mean that get some points in the bag, so they need to get points on the board. They're just about to kick off here at Dens, and the usual, the kick off now, it's going straight back to the goalie, and about 6 players on the left hand side, and it's going to be lumped up.
Right, let's drop into the Scottish Cup. Chick Young is down at Somerset Park for us. Ayr United against Turriff United. Settled in nicely down there, Chick?
Well, it's Ayr United have just taken the kick off, moved up the park, and honestly, I thought they looked such a young team to Turriff United. It's the first time I've seen them, and first time I think I've seen them full stop. But Warren Cummings in charge of them, former Scotland player, and they look such a young side, Kenny, and such a better, more physical presence from Ayr United. We'll see how this unfolds, but a little bit of nervousness, I think, at just the start in Turriff, as they just try to get the feelings of playing a team from the Championship. Ayr United will be vast favourites of this. Who knows, this could.
Chick, are Ayr playing in black and white by any chance?
They are.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering, because it just feeds into your kind of cinema analogy. The last time somebody took a Kiora and a chalk ice to the cinema, I reckon it was in black and white.
As if it was also silent.
It was also silent. Fair point, well made. I don't actually. Do you know, after I said that, I thought, people wonder what the hell a Kiora is. I'll take that abuse. Kenny, before we go any further, I've had a consistent dream all week for the World Cup. I need to tell you about it.
You're going?
Well, thanks very much. Now that you're not. Sorry, that's terrible. I don't know. So no, I've had this dream time and time. Scotland will play the opening game against Mexico in the Aztec Stadium, because Stevie Clark scored the only goal there in the Under-19 World Cup in 1983, and I just think it's fate. And I had that dream more than once this week. I'm used to much more interesting dreams in the back rows of the movies, but
your favourite ever World Cup?
My favourite ever World Cup?
Yep.
All of them. But Scotland are there is much better. I did 2 without Scotland, but in 1990 I think was pretty fantastic. So was 98 in France, and so was 86 in Mexico.
Let's hope more memories are created next summer for the Scotland national team.
You know the odds are only 10-1 against Scotland playing in the opening game. You do know that. There's one. Mexico will play one of 11 teams in the Aztec, and we're one of them.
Do we want that, Tom?
No, I want Canada from Pot A.
So they are, Tim.
I don't want an easy draw, don't we?
I want Canada in Toronto.
So you're having none of this glamour stuff, Alan?
Because my cousin stays in Toronto.
You've never been in my dreams, Biscuit, ever.
I beg to differ, Charles.
Just that one night in Rothsay.
Nearly a goal there at Fir Hill.
Right.
Not Fir Hill, Fir Park.
Fir Park.
Yeah, it was a great cross from Claudia Bragg into the back post. Harry Milne's come in, Lawrence Shank was there as well, and Harry's got up above his marker and he's just landed on top of the net.
Don't worry, we know where your heart lies, Ian McCall. We know it's at Fir Hill.
There used to be a First Park as well. He's still in. It's not
That's
there
right.
anymore. My first ever game as a manager was at First Park, 1997. But anyway,
Did you win?
1-0. Gary Teal scored the winner.
The one country you don't want from Pot A.
Wait a minute, goal. We have a goal, and it's at East End Park.
And it's went for Queen of the South. It's a bizarre goal. I actually think it's an own goal. Kai Kennedy crosses it. I think Guthrie goes for it, but I'm not sure he gets anything on it, and it comes off the defender, goes in the back of the net. But it's 1-0 Queen of the South.
Right, who tipped Benburn?
Me.
Benburn 0, Montrose 1. Ewan Loudon goal in 3 minutes.
Supporting the local team,
Scotty.
supporting the local team. Somebody had to mention them today.
How about you, Scott? I think they're still turning that around. Tyndall Park.
Let's find out. Right, OK, so an early goal there at East End Park. Let's get to McDermott Park. St Johnstone home to Cove Rangers and get the latest from Billy Dodds.
Yeah, as you'd expect, St Johnstone on the attack, keeping plenty of the ball, but just can't fathom out a chance yet. But they've got so much possession. Kenny Cove have gone a 5 at the back with a 3 and a 2 up front, but even the strikers are dropping deep, trying to make it difficult, stay in the game as long as possible. But early doors, plenty of possession, but no breakthrough yet for St Johnstone.
Right, let's get to Starks Park. A debut there for the new manager, Dougie Emery. We heard Brian McLaughlin speaking with him a short time ago ahead of kick-off against Alloa. I'm assuming you got a great reception there, Brian.
Absolutely. Standing ovation from the small crowd, I'd have to say, inside Star Park this afternoon for Dougie Emery. He's made just the one change from the side that drew at Gayfield last week. Callum Smith drops out. An experienced Paul McMullen comes in to the starting 11. It's a really strong starting 11 as well, with Mullen, Hamilton and Easton. 15 goals between them so far this season. Wraith have been in top so far but can't find a way through. Alloa, though, they made 2 changes. Mackay and Adamson drop out. Hetherington and Dewar coming in. Just over 5 minutes played now. It's still Wraith Rovers 0, Alloa 0, Kenny.
Thanks to Brian. Like Tom, I'm really intrigued by this game. Bankside against Ross County. Tyrone Smith is there for us. What's happening in the early stages, Tyrone?
Yeah, 6 minutes gone here, Kenny, at Spain Park. It's still 0-0. I have to say, Bankside have settled into the game pretty quickly. They've been knocking it about quite a lot. In fact, most of the play so far has been up in the Ross County half of the pitch. Now the goalkeeper been threatened. It's a strange game, this one. I mean, everyone's expecting there could be a shock here, but you look through this Ross County lineup, despite the poor form that they've been in, it's still Ronan Hale, Scott Fraser, Jordan White, Ryan Duncan, Declan Gallagher. Good players who you would fancy should be able to take care of this today, but as we know, things aren't that straightforward in the Scottish Cup, but it's still 0-0 here at Spain Park.
Right, bad news for Benburn fans. Benburn 0, Montrose 2. Aidan Quinn with the second goal on
It's history repeating itself here.
Rory, you should have warned them beforehand. What can happen? What was the score? 8. Was it 8 last season when you tipped?
I think it finished 8, But that wasn't an exaggeration, and they'd missed a penalty just before half time. It remained 1-0 to Ayr, and I thought, it's always the second half. 7 goals later. Just on the Hearts game, it's bizarre watching this because Hearts been top of the league, and I know their form recently hasn't been as great as it was previously, but you'd think Motherwell were top of the league.
Right, penalty, yes, East End Park.
One each now. Chris Kane just back into the side. He's such a deadly striker. They play well down the right hand side. Robbie Fraser drives 50-60 yards and slips in Todd, and he fires a brilliant ball across the 6-yard box, and Kane slides into the back post. One each.
An electric start there then at East End Park. Just some other goals going in around the country. Just confirmation. Stennismuir 1, Clachnacudden 0, Michael Anderson in 5 minutes. Annan Athletic 1, Bucky Thistle 0. That goal scored by Tommy Muir on 6 minutes. minutes.
Some journey, Kenny. Bucky, Annan.
Oh, that's a long one, isn't it? That is a long one. But then they're behind Bucky at the moment. Annan ahead after just 6 minutes. A few early goals around the country. I'm interested, Ian, we had a discussion about how the sides would shape up there today at Fir Park. What are you seeing in the early stages?
Well, Derrick's went back to the 4-4-2, almost becoming 4-4-1-1. Motherwell are definitely 4-3-3. They really, Motherwell, listen, I'm writing out a few things about Motherwell in case I'm asked, but they certainly want teams to come onto them. Of that, there's no doubt, so they can play through them. And from time to time now they have been able to get there. Their fullbacks play so high. The two holding midfielders play very, very close. It's as if there's a 15-yard bit of string between them, and there's people ahead of them making little angles. They do try and play 10, 15-yard passes through angles to get people in the half turn. It's good to watch, but Hearts, to be honest, have more than matched them thus far.
I'm sure somebody tipped Motherwell to get relegated as well.
No, it was only because of what the boys said. I was never serious about
We've been gone 45 minutes, but how good they are.
I remember, and that night we had the Motherwell fan come on. He was livid with you, Ian McCall. But you want to clarify that, don't you?
Okay, it was just somebody said, and I'm sure he didn't mean it. But mind you, what he said about
Grant Hanley,
he maybe did mean it, but I'm sure he didn't mean it. I thought it was just a throwaway comment. But sometimes I just don't like people coming into Scottish football. We should all be very, very privileged to be in Scottish football. That night at Hampden recently, football connects us like nothing else, and we should all be privileged, whether we're right in the coalface or doing the job us guys all do.
He is Danish. He wouldn't have enjoyed that Tuesday night.
Well, okay, that's a good point. That's a good point, well made.
And the other thing is Steve Clark was the one that picks Hanley. Steve Clark. And what you've got to say though with Grant Hanley, he's played a lot of games in a short period of time. He's been brilliant for Scotland. Absolutely.
What did you think of the comments, Alan?
I agree with you what you said, but I also think that he's maybe looked at that and thought he's bound to be tired. The amount he had the Denmark game, he played for Hibs at the weekend, that's a Tuesday. He's 34 years of age. It's a tough, and I think most teams would probably play on that anyway, but you don't have to come out and say it. I agree with what you said. You don't, and I was actually, I think it was Kenny, I text right away, I actually said that's a bit strange I'm saying that, but it's the way he feels. And sometimes, as Kenny touched on, you want managers to come out and tell you, and that's what he's certainly done. Don't agree with it.
Yep, we love straight talking, no doubt.
While we're going straight talking, Tom, what about this? So FIFA, in their wisdom, so Moises Caicedo is going to be suspended for the first game of the World Cup. Ronaldo gets sent off.
That's ridiculous.
Violent conduct, automatic 3-game ban. FIFA, in their wisdom, give him 1 game which he's already missed, and then suspend the next 2.
Yeah.
That's
shamble. That's
it's corrupt, Alan. It's corrupt.
It's an absolute
Can't be surprised with that though.
No. Is anybody in world football in the least bit surprised? Like when he got sent off against Ireland, everybody predicted that he was going to be available for the first game of the World Cup because FIFA want all their marquee players. Donald Trump wants all his marquee players. Infantino and Trump are like.
Was he not at the White House?
He was at the White House.
Yeah, so he was always
Ronaldo was at the White House.
Listen, it's not. We can't say it's corrupt. We've got to be clear about that. But it's not a good look.
No, it's not. It's not a good look at all. But entirely predictable.
Yeah.
But the worst kind of look. And
terrible.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
It just points to the narrative about FIFA, though. It does.
Of course,
really does.
Infantino and Trump are like Chuckle Brothers now. I mean, FIFA are talking about creating a new award because Trump didn't get the Nobel Prize or something. They're talking about creating an award just so that Donald Trump can collect this award. I mean, Infantino, he's a piece of work.
Trump wasn't even in power when they were voting for the award.
Well, he's going to be on. Whoever wins the World Cup they're going to have Donald Trump on the gantry with him.
Don't worry, I'll get you World Cup winning predictions as well. We'll get all them from you.
Just like he was for the World Club Championship, and he wouldn't get off the podium. Do you remember?
Started well there up at Dens Park. Alan loading balls into the box.
They have, but there's nothing. A couple of headers in the middle of the 6-yard box over the bar. That's been about it. Nothing clear cut. I do worry for Dundee. I really do. They changed the shape, going to a flat back 4. Dre Wright's playing left back. But I just worry for them.
How do you see Jan Danda fitting in? Obviously very good at Ross County at that level, struggled at Hearts. Do you think he's not really made an impact so far? No. I think people expected him to do a little bit more.
Exactly. He's got Congreve outside him, just give him the ball and back him up. That's not what Danda's all about, really.
Yeah.
It needs to be on the ball.
East Fife nil, Arbroath 1, Finlay Marshall on 10 minutes, and Stennismuir doubled their advantage at home to Clacton and Ross Taylor on 11 minutes there. That's you up to date with all the latest scores. Let's get back to Chick down there at Somerset Park, the home side. On top there, Chick?
Yeah, I'm just recovering from Donald Trump to Dens Park in half a second. I thought I'd fallen asleep for 20 minutes. Yeah, it's all Ayr United, Kenny. This Stuart Bannigan just conducting things in the middle of the park for them. They've got they must have
effort there.
Must have 70% of possession in this opening spell, and Tara United look organised. I have to say that across the back, whether it's a real defensive position from them, and I think it's just trying to get this as long as they can without letting United score a goal and grow some confidence. But it's all Ayr United at the moment, coming forward with wave after wave of attack, but it is still 0-0.
We have chance at Denzal.
Yeah, that's for Joe Wesley. It's Dre Wright, he's up, plays it in with his right foot. Wesley gets across the front post, gets enough, not a lot on it, but gets a bit on it into the keeper's hands. That's their first effort on target.
Yeah, to get more on it, he would have had to outmuscle Alec Gogic, and I don't see Wesley being able to do that.
No, he's some competitor, isn't he, Gogic? That's for sure.
Kenny, can I just say a really dangerous bit of play from Motherwell there? What it was Elijah just came to the ball, did a bit of reverse movement, and it was played over the top, and they got in behind.
Golly, have they done the shot? Have they had a corner yet?
No, they've not had a corner yet.
They do the short corner where it comes to the edge of the box. They scored at Tynecastle in that 3-3 game with it, and they've subsequently done it in other games.
Did it, Kelly as well?
Yeah, they
penalty,
do it.
Is it?
Yeah, penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty to Ayr United. It's unlucky.
Dunfermline, Kenny.
Wow, what a start at East End Park. Chris Doolan.
2-1 Dunfermline. Andy Todd breaks away, runs half the pitch, rounds the goalkeeper, but takes it just too wide and has to turn back. He cuts it back, and Chris Kane strides into the box. It ricochets to him. It's lucky that it lands at him, but he's so composed. He takes a touch and he puts it away in the bottom corner.
So penalty to Ayr United. It was a handball. It's unlucky. It was Kyle Douglas actually. He was on his backside, and do you know, I thought he was unlucky. I didn't think it touched it, but everyone immediately responded to it. It's going to be Anton Dowds back in the Ayr United team. Big striker going to take this one right footed. He looks, he waits. The referee just checks everyone from Turriff is outside the box. Here comes Dowds, right footed. Oh, goalkeeper saved it! Fabulous save from Lee Herbert. Right to his left side. It's a good height for him, but he gets it away. And Turriff United live on. It's still 0-0.
Big moment at Somerset Park there. Bonnyrigg Rose 0, Spartans 1. Mark Stowe on 12 minutes down in England. Bournemouth 2-0 up away at Sunderland. Tyler Adams with a goal on 15 minutes. So just confirmation coming through. Dunfermline Athletic 2, Cooney the South 1. Chris Kane with that goal on 15 minutes. Let's then get to Billy Dodds up at McDermott Park. What's happening, Billy?
Yeah, but a couple of chances for St John's. Still can't find that breakthrough. It was 6 minutes when McPake cross found Dick Paisley, and he just headed it tamely at goalkeeper Stewart, and then McPake broke down just a minute ago. Kenny, left hand side, cut it back, and it was Sprangler coming in there, and I thought it was a goal, but it was blocked probably on the 6-yard box. But that's been all they've been able to muster up so far. St Johnson, Cove Rangers defending pretty well.
Let's get to Starks Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Alloa Athletic. What are the home fans seen from the new manager so far, Brian?
It's been good so far, Kenny. It's 15 minutes gone, but it's still 0-0. It's been all Wraith Rovers. Early on, Stevenson had a cross into the box. Dylan Easton with a glancing header just wide just seconds ago. Josh Mullen, who's been really impressive so far this afternoon. A free kick 25 yards out, just inches over the crossbar. All Wraith Rovers so far. Good start for Dougie Emery and his era here at Starks Park, but still 0-0.
Right, let's get to the game between Banks of Dee and Ross County. Tyrone Smith is there for us. Are you seeing a big gulf in class there, Tyrone?
Not at the moment. It's 17 minutes in here at Spain Park. It's 0-0. The scoreline kind of tells the story. Nothing between the sides at the moment. The game is starting to open up a wee bit. We've seen a couple of chances just in the last few minutes. Banksy actually had the first one. Sam Pugh with a low shot that was gathered by Ross Laidlaw. And then just a few minutes ago, the ball was played into the box. It was Ronan Hale who got in the end of it. It looked like he was a way to lash it into the net, but he was denied by a terrific last-ditch tackle by Banks of Dee's Joseph McCabe. But still 0-0 here at Spain Park.
Kelty Hearts 1, Brecon City 0. Innes Murray with a goal on 16 minutes. It's not really come to life so far yet at Fair Park, has it, Ian?
No, not really. I mean, Hearts had a really good 2 or 3 minute spell there.
That's a goal at Spain Park.
Yes, Tyrone.
It's a goal at Spain Park, and it's a goal for Ross County. It's that man I just mentioned a moment ago. It's Ronan Hale. He can't give him space in the box. The ball was played across from the right hand side. He took a touch and he just turned and lashed it into the net to make it Ross County 1, Banks of D nil.
Good start there for the Championship side despite their woes in the league. Back to you then, Ian McCall.
Yeah, not a lot in it, Kenny. Hearts had a really good period of play there, and it looks like both teams really, both managers are really respectful of their opponents, because they're kind of cancelling each other out just now. I mean, it's fascinating to watch, and there's good quality on display there, but just a minute ago Kingsley got to the line and probably should have delivered a better ball when Kizarides had not come in, and Hearts cut Motherwell open down that side. It's a good game, but there's been no kind of chances to score a goal yet, unfortunately.
Ian, talk to us about Harry Milne, a player you know well. What have you seen from him in a Hearts jersey so far?
Well, he's a really, really good footballer. He's playing wide right again today, which I played him wide left a couple of times, but I never thought he'd play him wide right. He's wholehearted. He'll get up and down the pitch all day. He's got really good quality. He's really good in there. He's a great teammate. He defends well. He just really, really wants it. I think that comes from Hearts have just won the first corner of the game, Kenny.
Chance.
It just comes from how he's come through the game from the Highland League to Cove, and then on from there.
He's intelligent as well.
He can play.
Ian, with his runs, I mean, he's made a run there inside, timed beautifully with the attack, which has left the space for the fullback, who for me should cross it first time. He takes a touch, tries to take on Longello, who's quick. But Hearts are playing the 4-4-2, but they've got Shankland or Braga dropping in to make it almost a 5 at times.
And actually, Tom, we had an Aberdeen fan on after the games, European games midweek, and you were putting forward an interesting proposition. I'm not sure how informed it was just a hunch that you had, but you're talking about maybe Maswanisi would be perhaps
not informed as ever, uninformed. But I just think he's such a terrific player, leading goal scorer in the league. Energy, aggression. I think he's an outstanding player, and I think there's a real problem in terms of scoring goals at a number of clubs in the league, and Aberdeen being one of them.
He's another one, Tom, that he was bit part last year. You wouldn't say he was an outstanding player. He was up at Tannadice one night and I watched him, and he scored a couple of goals and was brilliant. I seen him a couple of weeks later and he was non-existent. Typical kind of winger. But his level of consistency under this manager, it just goes to show again he's getting the best out of them, because he wasn't influential last year by any stretch.
No.
Let's get back to the game at Dens Park. Stephen Presley on our screens here in the Sports Sound studio. What have they made of the early stages? About 20 minutes or so in, Alan?
It's not great, Kenny. It's not great stuff. I've been spoiled in recent weeks with some really good games and goals, but these are two sides that are struggling to find the back of the net, especially in the league. St Mirren have done great in the cup, but in the league they're struggling. Dundee the same. Simon Murray just doesn't seem to have that same zip and energy that he's had in recent years, and it does catch up with you at times, but both teams need to do better. St Mirren have had the better of it, and Dundee have defended manfully at the back and had to concede a few corners, but so far it's still 0-0 and not great.
It's just really tough, isn't it, Rory? You think for a manager, fantastic against Celtic in that Sunday game, and as Ian highlighted earlier on, very good against Falkirk. Potentially could have been 2-0 up had they been given that penalty, should have been awarded, and then the home side have been down to 10 men in that game. But in other games they just look a bit flat.
Rangers and Celtic games, I know you touched on the Falkirk game, but they're outliers for sides like Dundee, in that as long as you're compact within your shape and you've got an outball in Congreve, then you've got an opportunity to get up the pitch. Things need to go well for you on the day. However, Celtic weren't at the races. Dundee thoroughly deserved their win that day. It's a very different dynamic to turning up at home at St Mirren, where there's a level of expectation on you, not only to win but to win well. Against St Mirren, I don't see that happening. So it can be psychological, but also there's an onus on you to be more offensive, which at times I think Dundee struggled with, as you've touched on, Al. Simon Murray, there's times as well where I think maybe he could get more. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if Presley fancies him as much as the previous manager, maybe, with the way he wants to play.
Well, he keeps playing him, and every time he's fit he plays him, but I agree with you, he's
on the bench a few times, Alan.
He's isolated.
He's always isolated.
He's isolated. Yeah. I mean, even at the moment, St Mirren on the attack again, they've been a better side, a chance. Good run, good cross. The power almost beat me. I think it's Lindeloo at the front post there. Gets across, almost knocks it in the back of the net, just wide of the target.
There's not a lot he can do with that, Alan, other than try and get it out at the back post. He's actually slightly unlucky.
Stennismuir 3, Clarknacuddin 0, Finlay Grey on 21 minutes. Forfar Athletic 0, Partick Thistle 1, Ben Stanway on 20 minutes time. Let's then get back down to Somerset Park. The home side passing up that opportunity chick from the penalty spot, but they're still well on top down there.
No, well, I have to say that Tariff United got a bit of confidence off the back of that miss by Anton Dowd. Got a free kick just inside their United half at the moment. I think they've got a bit of belief in themselves.
It's a goal at Motherwell.
Right, here we go, Ian McCall.
Well, it's a ball in. I think it was what, although the Motherwell, you can't see the numbers. I think it was
Callum Hendry.
Was it Callum Hendry? But I don't think he got a touch there. You can tell me. It was one of those, the cross is going in at the back post. The strikers run in, but from up here it didn't look like Callum Hendry got a touch in the ball. But it certainly it deceived the Hearts goalkeeper, and it's 1-0 to the home side.
He's celebrating like he got a touch. In first glance, I thought he did as well. He need to see it back. We'll get the replay in a wee second.
If he got a touch, I mean, it's a very, very slight touch. But listen, a striker going away to celebrate a goal, I don't think that matters whether they get a touch or not.
right, here we go. Oh, wee touch of offside potentially, but it's a good finish. He gets a touch. Yeah, it's a good touch on it. It'll be interesting to see if it goes to VAR for offside, because I think it's touch and go. We can't see the fullback right enough, so he might be playing him on. So we'll wait and see. But really good finish, good ball, good finish. Motherwell deserve that. Do you think?
It's been very, very even. It's the first chance Motherwell have had. I think it's been a 50-50 game just now. I don't think either team deserves to be ahead, but there has still been quite a lot of good football. But the one thing I'll say about Motherwell, they really want teams to press them. They're desperate for teams to press them, to allow them to play through, and their fullbacks just then, the couple of times Longello on one side and Katrubit on the other side, they just take off. They beat the press, and then it gets long, and there's a kind of 2-on-1 down one side. But I'm not sure they deserve to be ahead. But there is a goal check currently just now.
Once we get the result of this, I want to come back to you about, as an opposition manager, how you counter that. Then if they want you to press on, just get your thoughts.
I can do it right now. Just don't press.
Goal for St Johnstone.
Right, Billy Dodds.
Piezu is so straightforward. They had a good move there a few minutes ago, but they got a corner. Ball comes in. Marlon, good ball, flicked on. Piezu makes it 1-0.
Offside, Kenny.
Yeah, it was tight, Rory. You called it right away.
I think he leans forward, Kenny, as the ball comes into the box, and it's the upper half of his body that's offside, as opposed
to Hendry that's offside, Rory.
Aye. He leans forward and his shoulders offside.
That's all it is, isn't it?
Aye. But it is. It's the right decision, and it was made quickly, to be fair, as well. It wasn't too much of a delay, so be frustrating. And Hendry's a striker. It's relief more than anything when you get a goal. So he'll be devastated.
Right, let's get back to
it's a relief.
Let's get back to Billy Dodds there at McDermott Park. So it's going to be a long afternoon ahead. You feel now for the wayside, Billy?
You would think so, but they've defended pretty well up until then. It was a couple of efforts from St Johnstone, and Rhys McAleer, a long-range effort. We know he's capable, but then they have a good move. They get a corner, and they'll be disappointed, Kenny, after defending so well, how the goal has come about. It's just the in-swinging corner, flicked on near post, and Ikpeazu just bundled it over the line. So it was simplicity in the end, but they've got the lead. But they're still hanging in. Cove Rangers want to try and keep it like this for as long as they can in the game, and maybe going up the other end and nicking one will be the thought process.
Do you remember that game that Ian McCall was referring to earlier on when you were the striker up against?
I was having a little giggle to myself when,
so it was Boba Baldi.
It was working for a long period in the game, and then he wasn't playing well, Boba Baldi, and he was having a bit of a nightmare, to be honest with you. And then he just strode forward and made a pass and ended up scoring. So
wouldn't have been the manager's fault after the game, the Dodgy, would it?
He ran off Dodgy.
It's definitely the manager's fault now.
Right, as a manager then, Ian McCall, you're talking about how Motherwell want the opposition side to play. How do you counter that?
Well, the one thing, before I answer that, Kenny, that Motherwell have changed. They went to two strikers. That's just one thing I like. It appears to 23 at the back midweek. They've actually pushed two strikers on up front, and they're playing a box. A box four in the middle of the pitch.
1-0.
Right, Chick.
Yes, Anton Dowd, he's made up for the penalty miss. It was a bit of scrappy defending. I thought actually that Tariff United were growing into this game, got a little bit of confidence from Dowd's penalty miss, got forward a couple of occasions, but that time break down the right side. First time it came to Dowd, the goalkeeper saved it, but it came back to him and he just knocked it into the net. It is Ayr United 1, Tariff United 0.
Right, big goal down there at Somerset Park. Yes!
What a mistake at the back. The Dundee fans are
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you wait till you see this. And it's a great strike. Mander on bottom corner, giving the keeper absolutely no chance. But what a mistake.
Alan, see when we were a couple of seconds behind, see when you shouted goal and I seen the Dundee centre back standing in his own box, I thought this has got disaster written all over it. He literally, Clark Robertson, the most experienced guy in the pitch, passes it straight to him. We'll need to see the finish again. The goalie kind of stands.
I think the goalie's weight's on the right hand side, Rory.
Here we go here, so talk us through it, Rory.
He tries to play it into Simon Murray, who, by the way, is far too deep. I know he wants to get involved in the play. He tries to play it into him in the middle of midfield, and for me the goalkeeper's got to at least attempt to save that, Tom. I don't know what you think.
Oh no, totally. The goalkeeper
just stands.
But you don't think he's hit it that early? He's not even got time to set it. The goalie doesn't think.
He does, Alan. He has time. I mean, obviously Clark Robertson is the villain here, but the goalkeeper, you got to make an attempt.
Yeah, and he tries to play
stands there,
Simon Murray, who I'd be asking my
It's a second goal.
Yes, Chuck.
Yeah, Ayr United got a grip in this game now. I have to say, we could just correct that first scorer. It was actually Curtis Main who got the second chance. I said it was Dowds. Curtis Main got it. Ayr have now scored a second. And I think it might have been Dowds that time. There's 2 or 3 players. No, that's not Dowds. Tell you in a minute who scored it, Kenny. But in any case, it's 2-0 to Ayr United. And at this stage, look to be cruising the 4th round of the Scottish Cup.
Raith Rovers.
Yes, Brian.
28 minutes gone the clock, and they take the lead. They've been on top throughout. Wonderful play by McMillan down the right hand side. Plays the ball in to the path of Dylan Easton, who's right-footed the ball beyond McFarlane in the Alloa goal. Raith Rovers 1, Alloa 0.
Great start for Dougie Emery.
Ben Dempsey with that second goal.
Ben Dempsey, so Scott Brown side cruising down there at Somerset Park after missing an early penalty there. And just want to get back to you. We're just seeing a replay of that VAR. Fairly tight with the top half of the body, isn't it, Rory?
Well, I think when your initial instinct to say it's offside and you see the line, it's offside. It's a correct call.
Right, Ian, so just talk to us. Wow, here we go.
Equaliser. Danda hits it. Murray runs across the face of it. I think. Does he get a flick?
Own goal.
You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, looks like an own goal from Gogic.
Does it?
Yeah,
It's
Simon Murray celebrating though, as you said.
The shot for Danda looks like it's going wide. An instant response.
We'll need to see it again. It's not hit particularly well, but it looks like Gogic is stretching because he knows Murray's behind him, and it looks like he just deflects it into his own net. And for Simon Murray, his celebration was relatively
muted, I would say. So it's
suggests he may not have put it into the net. So
here we go. Here,
see a lot of space in the midfield there for Dundee. He doesn't hit the shot well at all, and yeah, it's an own goal. Yeah, goes in off Gogic.
Kenny, it was Jordan Doherty who got the final touch for that goal for Raith Rovers, but they've been dominant throughout. Alloa have barely been in the game at all. And I was going to say these games, of course, extra time and penalties if it's a draw in the Scottish Cup this afternoon. So, but it looks like here that Raith, they're certainly on their way at the moment.
The match announcers gave it to Simon Murray.
Well, Alan, if I was
Simon, the announcer here's changed it as well. Dylan Watrett, in his opinion, got the second goal for United's 2-0 anyway.
If I was in the dubious goals panel, I'd be giving as many goals as I could to strikers, but I don't think I would have any argument to suggest that was Simon Murray's goal, Alan.
No, I mean, he was going to get there, I think, wasn't he? He was going to get there.
Still got a lot to do as well. I just think Gogic worries that he's behind him, and he just kind of leaves a leg out and it hits off him and goes in. Pretty unfortunate, but Stephen Robinson will be very frustrated with that.
Right, Ian, I'm interested in this tactical battle at Fir Park. What are you seeing?
Well, as I said, Motherwell have changed. They started 4-3-3, a pretty strict 4-3-3, but they've changed after about 15-20 minutes. They're playing Maswanisi and Hendry as twin strikers, and they're playing a box in midfield, the 2 holding players and 2 players in front of them. And whether it's given them any more joy, I don't know, but I've jotted down a few things that they do want. As I said, they want teams to press them. I think Hearts will press them once, maybe twice, but they're not going out their way to do that. When they do that, at times, if they get good possession of the ball, one of the fullbacks just absolutely takes off, and they just knock it into his path, and then he's gone and he's away. So, I mean, they're really, really good to watch. But Hearts are matching them every step of the way just now.
Right, what I'll do is I'll try and run down all these scores. Obviously lots of games in the Scottish Cup today, but 2 games in the top flight kicking off at 3 o'clock. Dundee 1, St Mirren 1, Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. 5:45 start. Kilmarnock at home to Dundee United. Full coverage, full commentary to come right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. So in the third round of the Scottish Cup this afternoon, the latest scores for you: Airdrie 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Ann Athletic 1, Bucky Thistle 0, Ayr United 2, Turriff United 0, Bankside 0, Ross County 1, Benburb 0, Montrose 2, Bonnier Groves 1, Spartans 2, Camelon Juniors 0, Edinburgh City 0, Dumbarton 0, Auchinleck Talbot 0, Dunfermline Athletic 2, Queen of the South 1, Queens were ahead in that game. East Fife 0, Arbroath 1, Elgin City 0, Stirling Albion 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Partick Thistle 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Brecon City 0, Peterhead 0, Morton 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa Athletic 0, St Johnstone 1, Cove Rangers 0, Stennismuir 3, Clachnacudden 0, and Stranraer 1, Clydebank 0, postponed Tranent against Inverness, Cally Thistle. So let's get back to Billy Dodds at McDermott Park. Any sign at all of life in Cove Rangers, Billy?
No, they've not had an effort at goal. In fact, they've struggled to go over the halfway line, but they've defended pretty well, Kenny, and that's what they're trying to do, try to get it to a stage in the game where they make St Johnstone think about it, but no efforts in goal for them. St Johnstone have had 4 or 5, got the breakthrough with that corner routine, really just to flick on and Nick Pearson nodded it home, and they've had a couple of efforts after that.
Right, what's happening?
Wesley again with another deflected shot. Dundee coming into it, it quickly gets turned, hits it for the 18-yard line, takes a wicked deflection. The keeper's nowhere near that, and it's just by the post for a corner to Dundee.
He's picking up that position quite a lot, Wesley, between St Mirren's defence and midfield. I can see Gogic here, it hits off him, screaming to the midfield or to Phillips to say, look, which one of us is taking him? Somebody has to take him, because that's the second or third time he's turned in that area now.
A few shouts going on in the background there. We've got the game coming in here. Rory Ian's at the game for us. What are you seeing at Fir Park? Are they cancelling each other out, or?
Yeah, I mean, ever so slightly. I thought Hearts maybe slightly more aggressive with their front two in terms of pressing, but Ian has said they're picking their moments, they're picking their times, because they don't want to commit and then Mother will pop the ball round them. I think Derek McInnes would like to see a little bit more quality when Hearts do win the ball back. I think they've let themselves down a couple of times in terms of position and things, and quality on the ball, but in terms of Motherwell, I think they'll be happy doing what they're doing. They'll be disappointed the goal was ruled out. However, it remains 0-0 and all to play for.
Do you think Hearts have lost a little bit of their zip from earlier on in the season?
I think there's a little bit of trepidation. Not trepidation is maybe too far, but confidence is the same with any player, any team. And I think, I don't think the result in Paisley was a disaster by any stretch.
No,
everyone was asking questions after it. It's like, well, any team that wins a league, if that's what we're talking about Hearts challenging for, a point in Paisley can be a valuable point come the end of the season, because it's a tough place to go, but they've struggled since then a little bit at times, so it's the mental side of the game today they need to deal with. They need to pick up 3 points.
For me, they're not playing with as much
freedom.
Maybe freedom, passion, desire. They don't seem to be, they seem to be, the night I saw them, I think it was against St Mirren, everybody looked as if they were really enjoying it, and it was a real tough game that night, because St Mirren were really good. I really enjoy watching St Mirren, but when they got the equaliser, there was a real desire to go and score the next, and everybody seemed to be getting on with each other and getting on to each other as well, and maybe it's not quite there today, but a wee rough patch, but huge game for Hearts in terms of their season today.
Do you think that is a result of dropping a few points, Ian?
Well, I think Benigni is just an absolutely crucial player for them. I really do. I mean, they've got their 2 centre backs now who I think will play all season if they stay fit. And as much as Kabori and Braga and 1 or 2 others are good, they miss Lawrence just hugely. He's back today. I'm not saying this is going to be season defining, but it is a big game, and usually you'd say the way Motherwell are going, the way they're playing, a point would be a good outcome for them. But they'll be looking for all 3.
Yeah. I look at recently Braga and Kirsaridas have been outstanding. Earlier on in the season, last few get quiet, and look to be quiet again, Ian, are they?
Yeah, particularly Braga. I think, when Motherwell kind of get up the pitch, maybe Kabori might be more suited to it, and Kizaridis as well. Listen, he's a winger, he's not going to be able to turn it on every single week, or with all due respect, when he was playing the Hearts. So it doesn't look as if his confidence isn't up, but he's certainly not playing to the levels that we saw.
Do you think that's a result of other teams identifying his strengths, Ian, and kind of suppressing these strengths?
Well, when he's on song, I'd like to think he's the type of boy that it doesn't matter what fullback he's up, he's going to have a right go at him. But for that type of player, I mentioned Mikey Moore the other week there. It was a great example of confidence. For that type of player, confidence is absolutely everything, because you've got you're going to there to create, you're going to go and run with the ball, you've got to try and beat people. That's the hard job in football.
Yeah. Alan, I can see Declan Johns went off at St Mirren and now Killian Phillips is down. I know Scott Tanzer's a good replacement, like for like, but still, Declan John and Killian Phillips have been key for St Mirren.
They have been, they're good players. They really are down the spine of their team as well. It's a big one for them. Phillips, I think, he's back up now on his feet. Hopefully he's fine. He's got the thumbs up for the physio, so physio's over to the manager. Should be okay. Just a little knock. I think he's got a little knock in his hip.
How difficult as former players, Rory, for example, the early rounds of the Scottish Cup, quite a traumatic experience at times, a lot of pressure.
It can be. I noticed it in the Premier Sports Cup, where that was recently introduced when I was at Dundee, going away to teams like East Fife at that point in the season and fighting to try and get points and going to penalties. It's not easy. I was lucky enough actually to have some right good runs in the Cup. I got to the Scottish Cup final, got to the Scottish Cup semi-final as well, and had some success in England as well with the Low League Cup competitions. But I've never really been part of an upset on either side, to be fair. But it's that lose-lose situation. You're expected to win as the bigger club. If you win and you do it well, that's what's expected of you. So anything short of that is going to get criticised.
Ian McCall, your favourite Scottish Cup memory?
Nearly a goal there, just a good save in the half goal. Probably as a manager, it was being 4-0 up against Hearts at Brockville in Brockville last season. The chairman put the crowd through. It was about 7,000. There was about 10,000 there. But,
that the Colin Samuel game?
That Colin Samuel scored a hat-trick playing against Stephen Presley. It was one of Craig Gordon's first games, actually, 2000. I can't remember when it was, but
did you leave Stephen Presley on the ball that day?
I actually did, but I didn't tell the press about it. The least you tell the press, the better. That's the motto.
We'll get that sit-down interview with you and Tom English one of these days. The life story.
Colin's right. They can be honest without telling them the details.
Totally.
Listen to just let it all out.
Especially Tom English.
Let it all. Be honest. Don't keep anything back.
And get along.
Right, go!
Dundee have turned that around. Dre Wright, what a hit that is. I think the keeper makes a bit of a mess of it. Goes in his near post. Some strike for Dre Wright.
Got his hands on it,
but the goal, he's got his hands on it. He's got to knock it wide. Goes in off the post. Dundee have turned it around 2-1.
First glance again, I'm questioning the goalkeeper.
Me too. I want to see that again.
He's been a good signing for them, Shamal George. He's clapping and moaning at his defence, as goalkeepers like to do, but it's a good enough hit, but not one you'd expect to find the net. So.
He's got a hold of it, isn't he? As a strike, it's a great strike.
Right, here we go.
Sorry, Tom. Can you have a look at this? The Callum Slattery running through. Derek McInnes has gone off his head. The referee never gave a foul. It looked to me that he controlled it with his hand and then played the danger across along the box.
Right, okay, so we'll have a look at that. You've just seen the replay of the goal at Dens, Rory?
Yeah, there's an overload down, not an overload, a 2v2, sorry. Dre Wright's in too much space. It actually clips the inside of the post.
Yeah.
I thought the goalkeeper had palmed it into the net, so possibly being slightly unfair. However, as a player, I'm always disappointed.
I think he has. I think he's touched it onto the post. I think he's touched it onto the post.
That's what I think. I think he's got hands to it and he's knocked it in off the post.
I think so.
Shamal George has got to do better. At least he tried, though.
Great character from Dundee, though, after that horrendous setback going behind.
In the manner in which they went behind as well, confidence could have drained very quickly, so I wouldn't have suspected it would be 2-1 to Dundee at this point.
Sorry, Ian, I haven't seen that incident. Sorry about that, but they're playing on, yeah?
Yeah, they played on,
Yeah.
Right, let's get back to Billy Dawes and McDermott Park. What's happening, Billy?
Same as Kenny, it's Ulster John's possession, try to manufacture areas of the pitch and get into areas where they can take chances. They've created a few, they've got the opening goal, they look as if they could go on to win it comfortably, but they would like a second, probably before half time, but it's certainly in the second half to just make it so much easier. But Cove Rangers have been dogged, they've dug in, they've defended well, but they've not been able to muster up a chance. So still 1-0 here with St Johnstone dominating.
Peterhead 1, Greenock Morton 0. Niall McGinn with the goal on 41 minutes here. Just confirmation that Dre Wright goal for Dundee 2, St Mirren 1. So just looking at
Motherwell claim for a penalty here. I don't think they're going to get it. It's not been given thus far.
It was never a penalty.
I didn't think so. Harry Milne just nudged Maswanisi off the ball.
I think Maswanisi knows that as well himself.
Kenny, I just want to point out, if they can keep this 1-0 Cove Rangers, they made a couple of signings short term today. Greg Stewart was well known, and Chris Maguire on the bench for them, so they'll be trying to get them on at some point in the game. Hopefully they're maybe just 1-0 down.
a bit of experience. I think they've actually been short on the bench a few times as well, Billy, haven't they? It's been a real struggle
today. I think they've got a sub goalkeeper and 4 or 5 other players. That's it. So they're a wee bit short today, and that's even with the 2 signings.
Stennismuir 4, Clarknacudden 0, Finlay Gray with that goal in 42 minutes. Alan, actually, just in terms of this, I want to bring Rory in this in terms of the overall form for St Mirren and the worrying run they're on. But what have you seen from St Mirren today? How would you describe the performance?
I would describe it as Stephen Robinson described it. A lot of chances. I've had 7 or 8. Almost an effort again deflected in. I've had about 7 or 8 shots at goal, and he touched on it with Martin Dowden in his pre-match interview, saying that we had 60 shots in 4 games. We just can't score goals. They've got one today.
Sorry, Kenny, great chance for Hearts there from Devlin. Absolutely marvellous one-touch football at the edge of the box. It's been laid to him perfectly from 20 yards, and he's blasted it high over the bar.
Straight underneath it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think if you look today, the level of goal that St Mirren are conceding, the goalkeeper should save the second one by hook or by crook, whether he puts out for a corner or whatever he does. He's got to save it. First one's slightly unlucky in that it's a deflection, but I think all goals can be stopped. He's got far too much space, Yandander, to get the shot away initially.
Could be 6 league defeats in 7, Rory.
Yeah, no, listen, it's concerning. This one's far from over, though. It's far from over. And
but it's what Rory, what Stevie Robinson, as Alan was saying there, mentioned in both 18-yard boxes, not being able to score and then losing bad goals. That's exactly what's happened so far in the match.
Last time I seen St Mirren live was in the semi-final, and the quality of finishing that day, but
brilliant.
They've got good options with their strikers. It's just, I think the standard of goal they're conceding probably is lower than it has been for a number of years, and that's not helping when you're also not putting the ball in the net.
9 goals in the league.
Dundee move. No, but these pillars will not be coming with us.
I remember actually, Alan, but that game, I think it was about say 2 years ago, and I was sitting at the back of the stand where you are today, and Kenny Miller was the pundit that night, and we did a piece with Dundee. John Nelms was speaking about, I think the plans had come out, Alan, for the new stadium and blah blah blah, and how quickly it was going to happen. So I said to Kenny Miller, in 3 years' time, Kenny, when you're covering a Dundee game, where do you think you'll be sitting? He said in exactly this same seat.
A couple of journalists to my left have said, and they're in their 40s, and they said they'll never see it, and they hope to live till they're 100.
But they've been trying since Angus Cook's days.
But what is it? I mean, it's great to see that ambition, but I just wonder what the problem is.
I honestly think, Kenny, that they should both. They won't thank me for this. Get together and build one big stadium somewhere.
Totally agree, Alan.
2 big stands each. And that's your home end, that's your 2 stands, here are your home stands. United get the other ones, get a 20,000 all-seater stadium and crack on with it there and then.
They do that in Italy, don't they, Alan? The stadium,
Milan,
sure.
AC Milan.
Yeah. Well, no, I think
it's half-time at Spain Park, 1-0 Ross County.
It's common across Italy. It's not just the 2 of them. It's common across Italy. So it's
if
obviously
the Milan clubs can do it, the Dundee clubs can do it.
Transport and planning issues.
Kenny, 2-0 to United.
Thanks, Chuck.
Transport and planning issues.
Yeah, I think they're talking about 20 million they would need off the council for road access. And councils all over Britain are struggling at the moment. You're not going to give them 20 million for road access. That's why I think this is not going to happen.
It's just that stand there at the vantage point. We know about the pillars, Alan. It's not great, is it? So you've got to admire the desire to move on from there, but the reality, I suppose, is another thing entirely. But listen, it's been a struggle for Dundee this season. I think it was looking at a long old road back when they conceded that dreadful goal earlier on. That was on 27 minutes. Mikael Mandron after a dreadful defensive mistake, but fair play to Dundee, right back in it. Goggett shown goal in 29. Andre right in first line. Thanks to Billy Dawes. So 1-0 to St Johnstone over Cove Rangers in the Scottish Cup. We'll bring you the half-time scores. We'll go around the grounds, but you're still playing there at Fir Park, Ian?
Yeah, still playing. Yeah, I think about a minute or 2 of injury time.
Has it been a bit disappointing, Ian?
Well, I've enjoyed it because it's the first time I've seen Motherwell, but I mean, in terms of goal scoring action in both boxes, there in that way, it has been disappointing. One thing I'll say about Motherwell, they look like a really quick team. Whether that's the way they pass the ball or whether they actually have got genuine pace.
Half time at East End Park.
But they look a really quick team.
2-1 Fairland.
Well, what are you thinking of them? Good side, Motherwell, now that you've seen them live?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean, Alan? They look as if there's a lot of pace in their team, and I don't mean that means the players are quick. It's just how they use the ball. It makes them look pretty slick. That's half time now. I mean, listen, there's been not enough in both boxes, and hence it's 0-0 at half time at Park.
Yeah, when Lemon said it's the best Motherwell side I've seen in my lifetime. And you know, and ones that won the Scottish Cup, and Tam Cowan will tell you they're the great side of Stevie Cooks and all that. But I think football wise, this is as good as Motherwell's ever been.
Right, I think Rory might have redeemed himself here. I'm trying to think back to the start of the programme. It's a busy old start. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rory, but Dumbarton 0, Auchinleck Talbot 1, Connor Boyd stoppage time. Was that you?
Yeah, I did.
That's good. Not a shock though.
No.
We established that if they're in the league lower, like, come on, Ian, 8-0 last year.
Come on, cut him some slack here.
And he owned that at the top of the programme. He gave us his prediction for last year.
Not hiding.
Talbot love a wee team.
I think that's an upset. I think that goes down as an upset. Yeah.
Talbot love a wee cup run.
Right, so Elgin City 1, Stirling Albion 0. Collotti with a goal on 45 minutes. I don't know if I gave you this one. East Fife 0, Abroad 2, Gavin Riley on 44 minutes. Just confirmation of that goal for Auchinleck Talbot away at Dumbarton, right on the stroke of half time. In a couple of minutes time we'll go around the grounds. Actually 2 games in the top flight that kicked off at 3 o'clock. There's the option of commentary from the game at Fir Park. Goalless there between Motherwell and Hearts. It's been a really entertaining game, you'd have to say, at Dens Park. Dundee 2-1 up at home to St Mirren. We're on the telly today, BBC One Scotland, 4:30 until 5:25. The conversation, the action continues on Radio Scotland. 5:45 start at Rugby Park. What a game this should be. Kilmarnock home to Dundee United, both sides looking to bounce back from last weekend. We'll give you all the half-time scores, plenty more to talk about on Sports Sound this afternoon. Just
Dundee United goalkeeper. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
That's fascinating. He's got to change. Jim Goodwin's got. I mean, I was interested yesterday, and I think this is where I'm at. I think Jim Goodwin's. I think the way he speaks, Jim, is brilliant. And I was looking at his quote. I didn't hear it, but I was looking at his quotes yesterday. And without throwing his goalkeeper under the bus and just talking about Learns, he was distraught.
Be disappointed.
Yes, that's right. But he also just dropped enough hints that he's going to make the change today. Another guy's been pushing, he said, can't remember his name, the other keeper's been pushing, he said. So I thought he handled that well. It was actually a hard watch last week, wasn't it?
He just kind of glossed over it because, as I said before, everyone
half time at Dens, Dundee 2, St Mirren 1.
Thanks to Alan. We'll get the half time reports just shortly, but yeah, we'll be interested to get that team news. We'll have the team just around about 5 o'clock.
Both of them won. Kelly and Dundee United, 1 win and 7.
Is that right? Yeah, and it's just 6 straight defeats for Kelly.
6 straight defeats, not really scoring any goals. Dundee United are like, that's a surprise.
Do you worry more for Kettlewell if they were to lose as opposed to?
I think if Kettlewell loses today, I think he could be in all sorts of trouble because the fans, as we know, are not having him. That'd be 7 defeats. I mean, can you survive 7 defeats in a row? I'm not sure you
need some credit in the bank, I would suggest.
And that's
Jim
the problem.
Probably has.
Jim Goodwin has. I think for Stuart Kettlewell, albeit it looked good a few weeks ago, I think when you come in as that appointment and you're not entirely popular, it doesn't take much for the pressure to really come on.
It's a huge game for Kettlewell. He's got to get a draw minimum out of that.
We'll hear from both managers later on. We'll get the team news just after 5 o'clock. So let's then get the half-time reports on Sports Round here on BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Sports Sound.
That is a beautiful finish!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
The stories we tell.
About the people we know.
And the places we love.
Are not just made here.
They're stories made of here.
The British Isles are globally important for nature.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Glasgow. Made of Glasgow.
Belfast.
Liverpool. Cornwall.
Newcastle.
Cardiff.
Made of here.
Because this is our BBC.
You listen to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Another really busy day right across the country. 2 games in the top flight kicked off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Our commentary option comes from Fir Park. Motherwell against Hearts. Our commentary team there, Ryan Stevenson and Alistair Lamont.
Well, it's 0-0 here, Kenny, and I largely blame you for that after the big build-up you've been given this game. It's been decent, to be honest, without being a classic by any means. Motherwell have
certainly had the better of the game. In fact, they had the ball in the back of the net after 24 minutes, but it was deemed offside after a VAR check. There was no flag, but Elliot Watt had clipped the ball into the box, and Callum Hendry had pounced to knock it past Alexander Svolov. But despite the celebrations, well, they were curtailed once VAR did have a look, and I gather, although I've not seen it back, I gather it was well offside. Other than that, nothing really clear-cut. Maz Wanise had an early chance at the near post that he miskicked. Finley's had a header well off target. Just had a shot that was comfortably saved by Svolov. But yeah, Ryan Stevenson, watching this alongside me, I think we both felt that Motherwell maybe a bit hard done by not to go in with an advantage at the break.
Yeah, I think Motherwell will be disappointed the fact they've probably not created 2 or 3 more clear-cut opportunities. I think in general play they've been really good, and I think they'll be disappointed the fact that they haven't either created more clear-cut opportunities or got a goal. I think Hearts have just been absolutely brutal. I think right across the board. I think haven't defended well. Their distances all across the park, I don't think have been correct. They haven't really created anything clear-cut going forwards, apart from that last bit at the end there where the ball, they have a good bit of play and the ball falls to Cammy Devlin. Really don't want it to fall to him, and he nearly puts out the stadium. So they'll be sitting in the changing room saying, listen lads, probably can't get any worse than this for us. This is probably the worst. It's the worst I've seen them play this season anyway. Can we go out and can we correct that? I definitely think they'll need to look at something up front. I think Braga and Lawrence dropping deep all the time is playing into Motherwell's hands. I think they need to get somebody on that can run in behind and stretch the Motherwell, especially the 2 centre halves, if not the full back 4, and ask Motherwell questions. They've done absolutely zilch in that first half.
Yeah, well, for Hearts it is just 1 win and 4 coming into this one. As Tom was saying earlier, they don't want that to turn into 1 win and 5, but they will have to do something different in the second period if they are to change that statistic. But at half time, it's Motherwell 0, Hearts 0.
Thanks to the guys there at Fir Park. Full second half corners to come. Also, of course, the option of open all mics. Let's get to Dens Park. Dundee at home to St Mirren. There for us is Alan Preston.
Well, after 27 minutes of uninspiring football, the game burst into life, Kenny, and it was a real mistake from Clark Robertson, centre half for Dundee. He's looking for Simon Murray, but he gets it horribly wrong, passes it straight to Mandron, and from about 19-20 yards his left foot shot found the bottom corner. McCracken rooted to the spot, didn't move, but Dundee quickly equalised. The ball was Wesley to Danda. His shot from 25 yards, I think it was going wide, but it seems to strike Gogic into the back of the net, so a Gogic own goal there. Wesley then had a hit which Gogic again just nicked wide as well. Could have been 2-1, but it was 2-1 in 39 minutes. Dre Wright, who's playing left back, cut in on his right foot and unleashed a really good shot, I've got to say, but the keeper has to do better. Shamal George, he gets 2 hands to it and pans it in off the post. So Dundee have turned it completely around. Half-time score at Dens, Dundee 2, St Mirren 1.
So 2 games kicking off in the top flight at 3 o'clock, 5:45 start. Rugby Park, Kilmarnock against Dundee United. Full commentary to come. So let's get into the Scottish Cup third round today. Ayr United at home to Turriff United. There for us, Chick Young.
Yeah, if you're looking for the broken romance of the Cup, then I'm afraid this is the place this afternoon. Ayr United lead Turriff United from the Highland League by 2 goals still. It should have been 3. Anton Dowds missed a penalty early on for Ayr United, but they came back from that. Curtis Main scored, and so did Dylan Watchett to put Ayr United very comfortably in the lead at half time. Turriff had a little bit, they really weathered the storm in the early stages, and they began to grow a little bit of self-belief, but these goals came. The penalty was missed by Anton Dowds. In fact, it was gloriously saved by Lee Herbert down to his left hand side. He was injured in the process. He recovered from that. He went on to stoically play the rest of the half. I just cannot see how Turriff United are going to turn this around. Ayr United 2 goals to 0 to the good at half time, and surely progressing to the 4th round of the Scottish Gas Cup at the expense of Warren Cummings' side. Half time here at Somerset Park is Ayr United 2, Turriff United 0.
Thanks to Chick. Sounds like a great first half through at East End Park. Dunfermline against Queen of the South. Let's get the half-time report from Chris Doolan.
Yes, Kenny, it's been an excellent first half. It's Dunfermline 1, Queen of the South 0. Surprisingly, it was the League One team that took the lead. After 4 minutes, there was an own goal. John Todd, the ball was thrown in the box for Kai Kennedy. Curtis Guthrie goes for it, but I didn't get anything on it, and it comes off Todd and goes in the back of the net. And after that, it's been all Dunfermline. They've pushed. It was probably the wake-up call that they needed. Guys like Andy Todd, Chris Kane have really sparked into life, and then in 7 minutes they get back into the game. That man Chris Kane, he's always the guy that they turn to for goals. Robbie Fraser breaks down the right hand side. He plays a brilliant ball out wide to Todd. Todd drills a ball across the 6-yard box, and Chris Kane slides in at the back post to make it 1-1. Again, they push and push, and their pressures pays off again in 14 minutes. Chris Kane, Andy Todd breaks the half of the pitch, and he rounds the goalkeeper. Unfortunately, his touch takes him too wide, and he just has to check back. He cuts it back to 12, 13 yards out, and there Chris Kane just calmly takes a touch and fires it into the bottom corner to make it 2-1. And from then on, it's been all Dunfermline. There's been some shots. Keith Bray also hit the post for Dunfermline, and Queen of the South had a couple of shots over the top of the bar, but they're still in this game. You know, there's only one goal in it. I think Neil Lennon-Wolaski's team to come out and really drive home that advantage, but certainly the home side deserve to be in the lead, and it's East End Park, it's Dunfermline 2, Queen of the South 1.
Good stuff, thanks to Chris Doolan. Next up, McDermott Park St Johnstone against Cove Rangers. Let's hear from Billy Dodds.
Yeah, plenty of patience required, Kenny, for Saints, but they do lead at half-time, but it really has been one-way traffic, and that started in 6 minutes when a few passes from the St Johnstone players got down the left-hand side. McPake had a lovely cross, and Nick Piezo just had a tame header at goalkeeper Much. McPake then cut back, and Sprangler thought he'd scored from about 12 yards, but it was brilliantly blocked away when it was goal-bound. And then they did get a breakthrough in 24 minutes. It came after a good play again. It was a corner, and it was an in-swing, and it was simplicity really. Malin took it, it was flicked on at the front post, and Ikpeazu bundled home to give the home side the lead. Ikpeazu did come close a couple of times after that as well, when he had a shot saved at the near post, and then he had another header straight at the goalkeeper. But Saints have really dominated. Cove have been dogged, don't get me wrong, but the job not quite done. But the home team lead at half-time here at St Johnstone 1, Cove Rangers 0.
Thanks to Billy Bankside at home to Ross County this afternoon. Let's get the half-time report from Tyrone Smith.
Yeah, Kenny, at the break here at Spain Park, it's Highland League Bankside 0, Ross County 1. D started the game pretty well. They were the first to threaten. Sam Pugh, he drilled a low shot from 18 yards, which was gathered by Ross Laidlaw in the Staggies' goal at the second attempt. But it was County who broke the deadlock on 18 minutes. Jordan White played a low ball in from the right-hand side, and Ronan Hale, he was on hand to spin round and lash it into the net from 10 yards out. The visitors, well, they took a bit of a grip on things after that. They went close when Kieran Phillips headed over from a few yards out after some cracking play down the left from Ryan Duncan. James Scott then saw a shot deflected just over the bar before Hale stung the palms of Daniel Hoban with an 18-yard shot. However, they couldn't get that second goal, and the home side will feel they're still very much in this here at Spain Park. We're at the break. It's Bankside 0, Ross County 1.
Thanks to Tyrone. Let's get to Starks Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Alloa Athletic. Let's hear from Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, so far so good for Dougie Imrie. St Hugh Wraith Rovers boys, they lead Alloa by 1-0. The goal coming just before the half-hour mark. Jordan Doherty finishing off. Wonderful play by Easton and McMillan down the right-hand side. Lovely finish low into the bottom right-hand corner. They really should have been out of sight by that point. No, Easton had a couple of chances. Josh Mullen had a free kick that hit the crossbar, and Paul Hannon with a header just wide of the mark. Alloa a bit better towards the end of the half. Callum Burnside cut in from the left-hand side but fired over the crossbar. 1-0 it should be, but Wraith really should be out of sight. Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa 0.
Thanks to Brian. I'll run through all the half-time scores for you in the third round of the Scottish Cup. A lot of games there today. We'll do that in just a couple of minutes' time, but once again, a choice of listening on Sports, and for full commentary of Motherwell against Hearts, tune to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave and extra on BBC Sounds. For open all mics, tune to 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and both are live online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
What a goal! This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. I'll just give you all the half-time scores in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Airdrie 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Annan Athletic 1, Buckie Thistle 0, Ayr United 2, Turriff United 0, Bankside 0, Ross County 1, Benburn 0, Montrose 2, Bonnyrigg Rose 1, Spartans 2, Camelon Juniors 0, Edinburgh City 0, Dumbarton 0. Auchinleck Talbot 1, that goal coming right on the stroke of half-time. Dunfermline Athletic 2, Queen of the South 1, East Fife 0, Arbroath 2, Elgin City 1, Stirling Albion 0, Forfar Athletic 0, Partick Thistle 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Brecon City 0, Peterhead 1, Morton 0, Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa Athletic 0, St Johnstone 1, Cove Rangers 0, Stennismuir 4, Clachnacudden 0, Stranraer 1, Clydebank 0, Tranent against Inverness Carry Thistle. That match was postponed. Just before we go back around the grounds, just want to say one more thing if I can on sports. And my phone has been going nuts since I came into the studio at 2 o'clock. So thanks very much indeed for all the messages, all the support. I will get back to everyone later on this evening, but just have a look at the BBC Scotland website. There's a story on there just about prostate cancer and perhaps what some people should be looking to do just to get themselves tested and just give themselves a better chance if there is anything there in terms of prognosis. So thank you again for everyone for the lovely messages. They are greatly appreciated. So let's then take a wee bounce around the grounds again. Just about to get back underway at Fir Park. You know, you're saying sometimes it's more enjoyable when you're at the game. You've got the atmosphere. Watching it coming into the studio here, it feels to me as if it's really to get to life yet.
Yeah, a wee bit. I mean, I didn't agree with the guys saying that they thought Motherwell should have been ahead at half-time. The goalie didn't have the save to make the Heart of Midlothian goalie. So I think it's been quite an even game. I thought Hearts have got into really, really dangerous areas, haven't produced a final ball. I've been impressed watching Motherwell, but I think the game's been very, very even. But again, as much as you can have a lot of good football, if the game is void of action in both blocks, it can never be classed as a truly exciting game. So that's what I think both managers will be wanting to see in the second half.
So what do you think Derek McInnes will be looking at perhaps in terms of personnel changes, Ian?
Well, I said, and Alan Preston agreed with me, I'd have thought Kabore would have been a better option in terms of spinning and beyond than Braga to play up front with Lawrence. A better pass in Matt Swanisi was in there. Other than that, you know, I think that possibly Blair Spittle isn't quite getting to the pace of the game. Could be another central midfield player going, but I don't think they certainly. I haven't seen any discernible change in shape yet, that's for sure.
I think as the game progresses, Ian, I don't think any manager or team will be happy with a point. I know it's a tough fixture for the two of them, but I think you'll see both teams open up and really try and push. Hopefully that, you know, gets you a little bit more chances and a little bit more action.
It's a classic game that during the game, I don't think either manager will be happy with a point. But come Sunday, and if they do have a point each, I'm not sure they'll be that disappointed.
Depends on what happens around them, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
I would say if Celtic were to go Easter Road and Rangers were to win tomorrow, they might be sitting there on Sunday night. Depending on how the game goes, of course. If Motherwell dominate this second half, you have a sense of realism about it. But I just think the game will open up after about 60-70 minutes, and we'll see a few chances.
I remember watching Hearts earlier on in the season when they were really hitting their straps, and this is not the type of Hearts performance I was seeing earlier on in the season.
It's short of that, definitely. No doubt about that.
Let's get back to Alan, just back underway at Dens Park. Alan, what a huge result this would be for Dundee if they can hang on. Just looking at the live table, it would move them up to 9th. I know it's really, really tight, but if you look at the table now, Dundee United and Aberdeen both in 14 points, Dundee 12, St Mirren 10, Kilmarnock 10, Livingston on 8. It's so tight at the bottom of the table right now.
It certainly is, Kenny, and it's a massive 45 minutes for both clubs, and it's been a good start. Great defending. I think that's with Dre Wright, I think, is it? In the back post. It's really good play by Tanzer, whips it across, and I think Dre Wright does the defending at the back stick there. But that's massive for the both clubs. St Mirren as well, they need to get off this horrible run in the league that they're on. Dundee 4 straight defeats. It would be huge for them, and I think Ian touched on it in the first half. A few weeks ago they were 1-0 up at Falkirk, sitting third in the table, Dundee, and just dropped like a stone. So this would be a massive result for them.
Yeah, it's a horrible ball across the box. Trey Wright's one of those where he can very easily deflect into your own goal, but he does really well to hook his foot round it. Not his natural position, fullback, but certainly showed his experience and know-how and where to be in defending the box there.
And Athletic 2, Bucky Thistle 0. Tommy Muir on 48 minutes. Morton have equalised away at Peterhead. Tommy Adeloy on 48. And Clydebank have equalised away at Stranraer. They're having another great season.
That was on my list of 3.
It was,
if that one counts.
We'll give you that one, yeah, absolutely. But it's a great story. We actually, Tom, I think you down who did the Scottish Cup. We were down at Not sure if you were there that day a few years ago ahead of one of the Scottish Cup ties where there's a sports sound on the road and a breakfast show from there. It's a great wee set-up down there. They've come through the leagues. I think they're top of the Lowland League right now, going really, really well. Good story. Very good story.
Yeah, indeed. And it's the same kind of clubs that seem to be cropping up in the thirds and fourth rounds. Your Auchinleck Talbots and your Clydebanks, who regularly beat teams above them in the league. So the pyramid system at this moment in time probably isn't perfect, but I think over the coming, it might take 5 or 6 years, these types of clubs will be competing against these sides week in, week out, because there's some really, really good players at that level, really talented players.
Great club, Clydebank.
Yeah.
Ollie, you would remember that as well, Dodgy?
Yes.
Kennedy.
Good. Sorry, I thought that was a goal. It's just, I think it's deflected. I think it was Kingsley. It looked from here as if it was going in. I think it's deflected just by the goalie's right hand post, corner to Hearts.
That was tight. Kisarides, yeah. I know our listeners will like when you mention a few names, a few blasts in the past, seeing there from your Clydebank days.
But we used to go down and watch them, and I tell you, not when I was manager, but before that, they had some John Henry,
Kenny Eady was magnificent.
Paul Harvey. Obviously, you go beyond that. You got Cook playing there. You had who's your wee midfielder that was magnificent? I just met his brother, Paul Ronald. Jerry Ronald.
Jerry Ronald's a brilliant player.
I played with Jerry Ronald.
Jerry McCabe was a top player.
McCabe, yeah.
Still thinks says to this day, Colin.
Chick
played with Cabe.
Listen to all you old fogies.
You need another ball.
Am I right in saying
you're making me feel young?
Am I right in saying that Jerry Ronald, who we played with a few times in some of these bounce games, is he down at Man City at one point?
I think he was. Jerry Ronald was a terrific player. I remember him as a kid. He's a chance for.
Motherwell must take the lead there. They must take the lead.
Great chance.
Right, I think it's just at the back post. I mean, he's absolutely free, and then I don't know what. I can't really see who the defender was.
Right, Chick, we'll come back to you in a second. There's a big chance down there.
It's a huge chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a free header. I think he's trying to be too precise with it. It's the best chance of the game, and he's trying to knock it back into the far corner.
Yeah,
it's just. The goalie's made a decent save, but after that, I don't know what happened. The ball was still live, and I think the referee's given a foul, obviously.
Yeah, I mean.
He's got to score, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got to score.
Where's the foul?
Very rarely would you suggest.
Save.
It's in the keeper's hands anyway. Very rarely would you say not to go back across the goalkeeper in that type of situation. I think there's a space at the front post he should maybe go for.
He just didn't get the connection. I don't think, Rory.
He didn't get the pace on the header. Jerry McCabe was actually my assistant manager at Dunfermline and went on loan when I was 19, and he used to love the one touch before training, or two touch, so you're getting a big circle and it would whittle itself down to one or two. And I remember I was a young lad and went on the first ever Christmas night out with our first team, and I walked into the toilet and he had a wet paper towel with 4 of the boys doing one touch in the toilet with a wet paper towel.
That was another thing. Kiwi was a good at nights out.
Yeah, he was in good company, I've no doubt at all. Stirling Albion have equalised with Elgin City. Ross Cunningham on 51 minutes. Camelin Juniors 1, Edinburgh City 0. Ross Kavanagh on 48 minutes. You had a chance down there, Chick?
Yeah, it was the first I think we've seen all day for Turriff. They got a little breakthrough. Actually, the 89 have a player down injured. I'm not quite sure who it is. I'll identify he was down earlier on, and Turriff had gone with the game, and I noticed he was sitting down. I'm sure he'll have to be substituted. Identify who that is, I saying, Kenny, but that's a bit of a blow. The only blow United have had. Yeah, Turriff had a bit of a chance. It was eventually blown over the crossbar, but I just can't see anything untoward happening in terms of Ayr United's progress to the next round of this tournament. They've got very much a grip in this game. 2-0, remember, they are ahead, and they have had the luxury of a missed penalty kick from Anton Dowds. I think we'll have a ball. We'll find out who that substitution is. I'm sure it'll happen in a moment or two. Still
couple of chances here as well, Kenny, as much the Cove Rangers goalkeepers had to make a couple of good saves. Nick Piezu, really strong in the box, leaves his man, he gets too tight with him. 1v1, really good save. Then Gullen had an angled shot, brilliantly blocked away as well. They've gone 4 at the back now. Cove Rangers are having a little go. Chris Maguire is on, and Greg Stewart is on as well to make their debuts, and we'll see if they're fit enough in this 45 minutes.
I'm going to say this in the hope that I'm making myself a hostage to fortune, but this Motherwell Hearts game is dreary. It's nowhere near what I thought it was going to be.
I still think it'll open up some.
Paying Motherwell a lot more respect now. What do you think, Rory? Do you think teams are paying Motherwell a lot of respect now?
I don't know. Look, you respect every opponent, of course you do, but you do your video analysis and stuff. I think it's important. I liked analysis on the opposing team, but when your Hearts, I think there's a limit to it, because you've got to believe that you've got a better squad of players, and as long as you understand what the opposition's going to do. Now, Derek McInnes is set up in a particular way he thinks is going to benefit them against Motherwell. I would just like to see the front two maybe be a little bit more proactive in trying to win the ball back higher up the pitch. I think they're kind of caught in between. Shanklin goes, Braga then follows, and they're not really putting Motherwell under pressure, but at the same time they've not got the midfield back in the mud.
I'm not even going to shout at this chance. He's well offside, man drawn. Not even. I hate that how they don't put the flag up when it's so obvious.
Well off.
He was well offside.
Wasn't a player in the middle?
We can't see the full back in the screen, but I trust Alan's. I know where he sits at Dens Park, but he's looking right across it. So he looked miles offside to me. But for Hearts, I would just like to see them be a little bit more aggressive at the top end of the pitch. I can understand why they're not. Kenny doubted that for a second.
Miles off.
Alan.
Yeah, he was miles off. You're right, Alan. Shouldn't have doubted it.
So I would like to see Hearts be a bit more aggressive, but I do think, and I may be wrong, that Hearts will open up. And
they haven't had a shot on target yet, Hearts.
They've got any good areas, but they haven't. No, but that's the. To be honest, that's the first. The Motherwell Justice chance was the first real clear-cut chance of the whole game, and you can tell that Hearts number 9 is getting very, very frustrated. That's usually when he does something daft, but anyway, he's not really getting a touch.
Can come in all sorts of forms, though. Shots from the halfway line, or red cards, or
biggest chance of the game so far for Alloa there, Kenny. Substitute Connor Salmon through 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, left foot shot though into the side netting, but Alloa much more prominent now in the second period as they try to get into the game, but so far it's still Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa 0.
Tell me he's not brought that back. Sorry, Ian. Tell me he's not brought that back for a free kick.
Yes, he has.
Oh my dear.
And I don't think Braga realised until he'd ran with the ball about 50 yards.
He gets wiped out, he then picks the ball up and runs, and then it gets brought back when it looks like he's going to beat Welsh for pace.
Yeah, I mean, he was on it, and I mean, I don't know whether Welsh slowed or whatever, but he certainly shouldn't have brought it back. He could have played advantage quite easily.
Sorry, Ken.
No, so I was just going to set our chick up with a wee thing, just saying chicks when a while since I heard Connor Salmon mentioned in the programme.
I was missed him.
Listen, that's half his after dinner. Shouldn't see the tires, he's knackered.
But I saw Alan Trouton was in John.
Here we go.
No, he's had a few decent ones through the years. You gotta give it to him.
It was always good to hit the back of the net with him.
I'm still trying to understand Perth, wind and fire. I've no idea what he's doing.
That was one of his better ones last week, I have to say, actually. Right, Alan, what's happening in your game up there at Dens? Do you see a winner in this one? Do you see
St Mirren are piling forward? They just can't. As they say, they can't create the chances to score the goals. But Dundee are defending manfully at the moment. There's been a decent effort. Richards another shot just over the top of the crossbar when that was going in at the other games there, but St Mirren have had the better of the second half. They're shooting down the slope into their fans. They need to get an equaliser.
Yeah, they went ahead on 27 minutes. Quick fire from an Alex Doggett own goal actually brought Dundee back into it. Then Dre Wright 6 minutes before the break. So Dundee 2, St Mirren 1, and an Athletic 3. Bucky Thistle 0, Charlie Maxwell on 57 minutes. Stirling Albion 2-1 up now away at Elgin City. Russell McLean on 56. And Airdrie 2, Hamilton Accies 0, Chris Mockery on 55 minutes. Let's get back to Tyrone Smith. He's watching Bankside against Ross County. What's happening, Tyrone?
Yes, Ross County are still leading courtesy of that 18th minute Ronan Hale strike. Very similar to the first half. It's Ross County who have got a real stranglehold in this second half. They've been pulling Bankside all over the pitch. They've had a couple of good chances. James Scott had a header that was deflected just wide, and then just a few moments ago Daniel Hoban produced a terrific reaction save to deny Jordan White, who headed towards him from about 4 yards out. But they haven't got that second goal yet, even though they are pushing for it. And the longer it carries on like this, the longer you suspect Bankside's belief will grow that they could possibly still yet get something from this tie.
Right, let's get back to Starks Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Alloa Athletic. Get the latest from Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, it's still Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa 0. The goal from Jordan Doherty after 28 minutes the difference between the side. Wraith were so dominant in that opening half, they really should have been out this side, but Alloa, they made a change. Fair play to the manager, Andy Graham. He brought in Corner Salmon, and they've been much better in the second period, putting a lot more pressure on the Wraith defence. A good chance for Salmon there when he was through 1-1 with the goalkeeper, but shot ended up in the side netting. But almost an hour gone now, Kenny, just a 1-goal lead for Wraith, and they'll be looking for a second to put themselves really into the hat for the fourth round tomorrow night.
Kenny, you've got to love Scottish football. I just noticed in the team sheets at Ayr United, the ball sponsors this afternoon: Kyle Ashdrew, Jay Hilly, and wee stupid Andy. spelled S-T-U-P-I-T.
Yeah, there's always a story in Scottish football, and our chick will always find that story. Let's get to McDermott Park, St Johnstone home to Cove Rangers. Dodgy, what's happening?
Well, Cove have got up the pitch a couple of times, and Emsley there just been a dangerous ball, but it's leaving space at the back with them now going a back four, and have a few chances. St Johnstone, as I said, Ikpeazu coming close and Gullen coming close, so it's whether Cove can get up and start creating a few opportunities, but that's leaving them vulnerable at the back, Kenny, and that's the way the second half looks like going.
Yeah, big chance.
What a miss! Anton Dowd's already missed a penalty. I remember when he was out injured, Scott Brown lamenting the fact that he was so vital to the team. Well, I tell you what a chance that was to miss. Cut down the right hand side, the ball played across, and he's just got to tap it in. He's inside the 6-yard box, goalkeeper's beaten, he just got to tap in, puts over the crossbar. Still 2-0 United. From Anton Dowd's point of view, he should be four. He missed a penalty and missed a great chance.
Tom, can I just ask, we're obviously watching the pictures coming in. I know you've covered Celtic's European games and things. You know, a big part of Motherwell's success, and he's been great today, has been Stephen Welsh. Given the players slightly short in that position, if Cameron Carter-Vickers is going to be out, I don't know if there's a recall option. Would you be considering bringing him back to the club in January if he's still doing as well?
Yeah, I think you would. I certainly think you'd be definitely considering signing another centre half. Maybe both. Maybe both options, because Carter-Vickers is obviously out long term. They're struggling in that position.
He must be really enjoying being out playing though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell you, lads, sorry, really good chance for Cove, Kenny. I said they're starting to get forward on occasion, and Emsley again beats his man on the line. Regan Tumilty leaves him for dead and then hits a shot from a tight angle. Goalkeeper's got to save it, and then Blair Yule from a really good position, 14 yards, just hit target. He probably scores and he blasts it over the bar, but Cole's first real opportunity.
And an Athletic 4, Bucky Thistle 0, Miles Gaffney on 61 minutes. Let's get back to East End Park, Dunfermline at home to Queen of the South, and get the latest from Chris Doolan.
Yeah, it's been a good second half, Kenny. Queen of the South are coming back into this game, albeit they've not had the chances. Andy Todd missed one for Dunfermline from about 2 or 3 yards. It was headed back across from Chris Kane, and he lifted it up over the bar from a couple of yards out, but that seems to have given Queen of the South a lift, and they've had some lovely football. They've played some great stuff, and Dunfermline have actually just made a couple of changes to try and freshen up the midfield, because Queen of the South are really starting to knock the ball through the middle of the pitch, and if they're not secure through there, they're going to find a way through.
Hearts have been much more aggressive in the last 10 minutes.
They're starting to take a grip in the game, Rory, I've got to say.
Aye,
without creating any great chances.
Aye, the quality from the wider areas has left a lot to be desired. The goalkeeper taking a few cleanly, but if you look now, the difference, the strikers are further up the pitch, the centre-backs are stepping in, which means that if they are winning the ball back, then they can get a bit of consistent attack, but certainly more aggressive in their press.
It's interesting, Tom, we went here on Thursday night, and again with an Aberdeen fan on, a Celtic fan, a Rangers fan on. You were chatting to the Celtic fan about the strange situation they're in now. They're losing Martin O'Neill, who's done a terrific job, and they're bringing in a fairly inexperienced manager.
Yeah, look, it's Wilfred Nancy. He'll probably be in next week, you'd imagine. Martin O'Neill has done his job. He's done it very well. He's got one of their best results in Europe in many, many years. So he will leave with his head held high if he is leaving. I would be tempted to keep him in the club in some capacity, to be honest with you, for the statesman that he is, and to maybe as a kind of a guy who could maybe broker some peace between fans and board. Maybe it's an impossible job, but if anybody can pull it off, he can. So yeah, look, it's Nancy is going to be very, very interesting. Unproven, reading a lot about him, listening to a lot of podcasts about him, and you have to make up your own mind about him. Some say he's going to be, Ange Postecoglou, only better. There's no evidence to suggest that. He might be, but there's no evidence to suggest that.
What does better look like, though?
Yeah, I don't know what better looks like. Yeah, but you hear this, and I'm just intrigued. I think he's going to be a very welcome addition to Scottish football. A very interesting character, and he could be brilliant. But wow, he's got a big job in his hands because hasn't managed out of North America, and he's gone into a club that's in a bit of turmoil in terms of behind the scenes and fans and board tearing strips off each other.
Just wonder if that'll be Martin O'Neill's last game tomorrow. Then away to him.
Rory, have a look at this. Dundee fans have won a penalty. I think he's outside the box. The Congreve goes down. It's a dive for me. He's already beat his player, but he slows down, lets him catch up with him again.
Certainly the contact's outside the box. He falls into the box.
He's looking for it, isn't he?
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. And John Beaton, he's got the hand to come up, and there's not many players remonstrating around him. So see it again, Alan, but I think you've called it correctly.
Yeah, so just to flag up tomorrow's coverage on Sports Sound, Hibs against Celtic kicks off at midday, 2 o'clock start, Rangers at home to Falkirk, 3 o'clock Livingston against Aberdeen. I thought Davy Martindale was great on Sports Team last night, really good insight from him into that game, and just in general, of course, he was asked about VAR. He controlled himself last night. He was a very angry man, you'd have to say, last Saturday. 5:45 start tonight, Kilmarnock at home to Dundee United. Full coverage right here on BBC Radio Scotland. So let's just bounce around the grounds again in our feature match, really, that game at Fair Park. I'm certainly what we're noticing in the studio, Ian, is more and more Hearts in control of this one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I was going to butt in and say that, but they are controlling the game now without cutting Motherwell open. But I think this is their third corner in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and they're getting it side to side a lot better. And they're certainly the team as the corner comes in the ascendancy. But no, it's cleared off the line there. The header by.
Just having a wee look.
Well, I tell you what, the Hearts fans behind the goal, as they are claiming for it, but obviously it was a great. I couldn't see who cleared off the line, but what a clearance it was! It was going in.
Really, really good. He does well to position his body to actually be able to get it back the way.
Did it look quite tight, Rory, in terms of being over the line? Do you think? Or
no,
I mean, it's not a great angle for us, but they were certainly claiming for it. But they would.
I don't think it was over the line. He does really, really well. I'm not sure who it was either. Possibly Fadinger, but fantastic goal line clearance.
And Ian, we should mention this. It's great to see him. We spoke about this before the game. A huge travelling support behind the goal there.
Magnificent. And listen, there's loads of home fans here as well. That's offside. He's going to put that in, but he's offside. I'll guarantee he's offside. There he is, offside. I tell you what, though, when I see the amount of money people have paid for strikers in Scotland this year, Maswanise, and he hasn't had a great game today, but I've watched his movement 2 or 3 times, only playing as a striker, not as a wide player. I tell you what, he looks the part. He really does. When I think about you could have got him for whatever they got him for, probably buttons. He's certainly. I
don't know if he showed enough before this season, though, Ian, for anyone to really take. But I think it's been this season that he's really came to life.
Yeah, I don't know his movement away from the ball, and his movement down the side of people. His touch is good. And remember, I said about the passing makes a team look fast. Yes, it does, but he is fast. He is quick. He can really get at people. But as I said, listen, Hearts are very much in the ascendancy now, and they're just waiting to make a chance. Still the same though, Kenny. There's not been enough action in both boxes.
Yeah, it is disappointing.
2 shots on target, both from Motherwell. Hearts to get this far into a game without a shot on target, given the firepower that they have. That is unusual, and it's pretty poor.
Yeah, it is unusual. It is pretty poor. But if they get away with a Derek McInnes 1-0 away from home, they'll be delighted.
Well, the one off the line, I suppose we'll have to count that. That's okay. That's one.
I don't know who got the header. Was it Halkett that got the header or Finlay? I couldn't quite see.
Didn't actually see a replay of that one. It just looked. It was a really acrobatic.
That's a good point. Would that be considered a Opta Stats goal, shot on target?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. But
no idea.
You're not a stats man, are you, Ian?
No, I think there's a place for them and really important. But for some of them, they're just absolutely ridiculous, and they don't tell her. All they do is contort a picture rather than make it.
The one that gets me is expected goals.
Unbelievable.
That's the worst. Expected. Of course, you're a centre forward. Of course, you expect them to score goals.
Again, old fogies. Listen to them.
Not at all. Expected goals.
You're still not today, Mr. English.
Says the modern man, Tom English.
Modern man.
You got to get with the cool kids like me, lads.
Yeah. You're sitting with a pair of flares on.
Smart with that.
You need it, Donzy.
It wasn't me who said it.
Oh, sorry.
It was actually a Lawrence Shanklin header at the back post, a really good header, but the clearance was absolutely tremendous there. Kelty Hearts 2, Brecon City, Alex Ferguson 65.
Opta still not counting it as a shot on target.
So that's a nonsense. So there's a header that's cleared off the line and it's not.
It's got to be.
On target.
Maybe look, but it's not updated yet. It was an attempt on target.
Producer is in my ear telling me it would officially be classed as a shot on target. So there we go.
And the thing is, Tom, I sometimes see the Opta guys at games. It's all old goalies I used to have in right backs and stuff.
Yardley does it. Yardley's a man.
John Hillcoat, guys like that. I mean,
Dunk Shearer does it as well, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Right, we'll not expand on that. Alan, what's happening in your game?
I've asked that question.
Dundee are coming back into it. St Mirren not really done enough in this second half at the moment to try and get that equalising goal. They made a couple of changes. Mandaron has gone off, as has McMenamin, and then has come. And has come Ayunga and Idowu as well's come on. Still 2-1
so
the whole side.
Here's a chance for Cove. Sorry, Tom.
Yes,
Megan, they've got to that stage, 70 minutes, and they realise they're still in this cup tie. Got the left-hand side and played into Meganson in the box. He just turns quickly, hits a shot, and it's straight to the goalkeeper who beats it away. So Cove not quite done yet.
I know. I'm preaching here to the guys who will not be converted to stats.
Educate them, Tom.
So touches in the opposition box. Motherwell have had 9 touches in Hearts box.
How about watching the game instead of a screen?
I am watching it. I can do both, Jake.
Take your cans off, lads.
I can do both.
Honestly, it's just giving people jobs that they don't need to do.
It's just confirming what my eyes are seeing here, that Motherwell are no threat.
It's also confirming to me that when people go on about you go and see a physio or you go and see a sports scientist, you can't. He's overloaded this week, honestly.
No, I do agree with the guy. I'm not a huge stats fan. They have their place, but
of course they have their place. I mean, all these football clubs operate on stats. They operate on data. Why shouldn't we?
I just think that the data and stats can be
meaningless.
No, well, not meaningless, but they can be they can be warped into any positive or negative.
Jamestown Analytics, massive company operate on data. Are they talking rubbish?
So what did Aberdeen have 18% of the ball in the Scottish Cup final?
Exactly.
Won the cup 1-0.
Yeah, but that's instructive. But that's instructive in its own way.
The only statistic that matters is the amount of goals. Full stop. And all that expected. That's utter. I mean, if you can't look at a game and see it and judge who's a player,
of course you can. Of course you can. Why can't you do both?
Because you don't need to. Where this discussion started, we all talk about expected. I don't know what expected goal. I don't even understand what that's meant to mean.
Well, Scott Allen was in here earlier, and he was saying, and he actually said this on Tuesday night. He said people at other clubs, and he said the Motherwell fans won't like this. They'll be looking at the data on Jens Bertolascu and making decisions on that.
All of these clubs are data-driven now to a very large extent.
Certain data is good.
Data is critically important to modern football club, rugby club, athletic, every sport you can possibly think of.
Kenny, can I just come in? This is a serious point, and of course there is a place for it, and it's really, really important. And you never ever rule it all out and just say, no, we don't need it. But I know Scott was saying before the game that they're going to look at how Motherwell play. I'll guarantee if a boy went up to Dundee and spoke to Dundee and he got offered 3 a week and he came to Motherwell and he got offered 1 a week, I can guarantee he'll sign for Dundee. It'll not matter how they play. Of course, see the data and you see the analytics you're talking about and the Jamestown thing. They still have eyes on as well. They still have eyes on.
Of course,
that's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
The point of the data, though, Ian, is that the point of the data is if you've got the data, other clubs won't be aware of them.
Goal!
Billy Dodds, wow.
Meganson! It's been coming. I mean, the 2 or 3 passes, he takes it on the run. He stays at the edge of the box. It's passed into the edge of the box from the wide area, and he takes it on the run, goes past a man. There's a player in front of him. He tries to hit the shot, I think, to the far corner. It's deflected and goes into the St Johnstone net. It is St Johnstone 1, Cove 1.
You were right, Doddsy. They were expecting a goal.
I did say it. Yeah.
The only stat that counts when you're watching a game on the telly is the one top left.
Tom's going to put on a pair of Armani jeans.
I do agree with you, Alan, but the end of the day, and listen, I don't disagree or agree. I'm kind of in the middle with this, but the whole Aberdeen having 18% possession, well, if you do that consistently over season after season after season, what you'll find is Celtic will win those games 9 times out of 10, and that's generally speaking what happens. So it can happen on a one-off game.
That's football, that's not statistics.
We'll need to revisit that one later. We're about to go on television. Just a couple of quick goals beforehand. Auchinleck Talbot 3-0 away at Dumbarton. Kyle McAvoy on 71 minutes. Airdrie 4, Hamilton Accies 0, and just confirmation that equaliser for Cove Rangers, 1 apiece now away at St Johnstone in the Scottish Cup. So plenty more to bring you here on BBC Radio Scotland. So welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC One Scotland. As ever in Scottish football, no shortage of drama today. Rory Loy and Tom English alongside me in the studio. Some big games covered on Sports Sound today. Let's take you on a journey around the grounds to get the latest of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. First up, Fir Park, Motherwell against Hearts. Ian McCall is there for us.
Yeah, listen, it's been a decent enough game. A lot of it's played in the middle of the pitch. There's not been many chances in the game. Lawrence Shankland had a header miraculously cleared off the line from Motherwell, and the best chance of the game was Elijah Just. It's a header from about 6 yards out. He's really got to score, and the goalie makes a decent save. But there's not been enough action in both boxes, albeit, as you're joining me, Hearts are just starting to take control of the game without playing any magnificent football, without making any great chances. They're certainly in the ascendancy right now.
Ian, we had a big discussion at the top of the programme about Motherwell. So much debate about them this season, their style of play, so much praise. The fans are loving it. Certainly in recent weeks the results are coming with that as well. Your first viewing of them today, what have you made of them?
Yeah, I think they look like a really good side. They look really quick. They look as if they've got a lot of pace. Now, as I've said before, whether that's because they have got quick players or the level of their passing is very, very good. They've got a threat at either end of the pitch, at the top end of the pitch. They've got pace at the top end of the pitch. I like the way Askow changed tactics after about 10 minutes. He went to 2 strikers and with a box 4 in midfield, almost a 4-2-2-2 as you will. So, I mean, yeah, they're a good side, but a lot of the stuff that's, I've seen it before. It's not as if this is a new thing. Tony Mowbray at Hibs in 2003, 2004, when that great crop of players came through with Scott Brown and Kevin Thompson, etc., Riordan, they played some of this. They made the game really, really long. But listen, it's not been a great game, but Motherwell are a good side. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's not a classic, Rory, but it is an intriguing tactical battle, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I genuinely had high hopes for the game as it.
I'm doing my best to talk it up.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure either manager will be pleased with the level of quality their teams have shown when they've got into good positions. Motherwell in the first half, Hearts more so in the second half. A lot of crosses, goalkeepers gathering the ball, or hitting the first man. Well defended, but they're not really been asked many questions. As Talbot go 4-0 up, my upset's coming through.
Well done, Rory.
Yes.
So yeah, I did think as the game stretched on it would become more open. There's no real signs of that, and when there is signs of that, the quality's just not there for them to take advantage of it. So a little bit disappointing overall in terms of the fixture itself, which I was looking forward to.
Just before we move on, there was a spectacular goal line clearance, wasn't there?
There was, yes. It was a Shankland header at the back post. Looked for all its life it was going in the back of the net, the ball, but right on the line the defender managed to hook it clear.
I think it was Hendry, wasn't it?
Hendry.
It was some goal line clearance.
Yeah, amazing.
I mean, I thought for a second we might have a goal there, but
well, wait, there's time yet.
There's time yet, but it's been disappointing so far from two sides. We all think a lot of. I think it's been pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, what Rory was referring to there in terms of Auchinleck Talbot 4-0 up away to Dumbarton in the third round of the Scottish Cup. We asked some of our pundits earlier for their idea of a shock this afternoon. That was Rory's selection. They're very much in control of that game, Auchinleck away at Dumbarton. We'll bounce around the Scottish Cup ties that we're covering on Open All Mics in a few minutes' time, but one other game kicked off in the top flight at 3 o'clock today, Dundee against St Mirren. Let's get the latest from Alan Preston.
Where it's currently Kenny, Dundee 2, St Mirren 1 after an uninspiring 27 minutes. It was St Mirren who took the lead. Clark Robertson, centre half for Dundee, was having a a poor game up to then, and he tries to find Simon Murray, but his pass is woefully short, goes straight to Manderton. He runs forward and unleashes a left foot shot into the bottom corner, gives St Mirren the lead. But Dundee equalise straight back into it 2 minutes later. Jan Danda, I think it's a shot that's going wide. It takes a wicked deflection of Gogic, who's trying to intercept it, knocks it into the back of his own net for an own goal. And then just before half time, 6 minutes in fact, Dre Wright, who's playing left back, cut in on his right foot and hit a right foot shot, which the keeper Shamal Jaws should have saved in my opinion. He pushes it onto the post and in. St Mirren have been better in the second half. They're piling on the pressure, but Dundee are defending resolutely. It could be a massive 3 points for the home side. Current score, Dundee 2, St Mirren 1.
Two big games in the bottom half, 5:45 start.
Unbelievable chance for Motherwell, Kenny.
Right, let's go back to Fair Park. Ian McCall.
The guys will say in the studio, it's just again, and he's ran through the middle. Great bit of skill to beat somebody. He's 1-on-1 with the goalie as well. And he's got to finish it. He's got to find a corner. It was a decent save, but it should be 1-0 to Motherwell.
I've seen him a few times, Ian. I think he's got a step up in him. I mean, that little feint of the shoulder completely sells the defender.
He kind of floats over the ground, you know.
It's one of those where your eyes, when you're watching it, actually go the way he's feinting, and then he checks back and he's through on goal. He should really score, to be totally honest with you.
Two big saves that Swallows made in the Hearts goal.
It's a poor finish all the same. I don't know, a goalkeeper's got to come out and make him big, but he's got the quality to roll it in the corner. Motherwell should be winning this game. Well, with the goal line clearance, Hearts will maybe say otherwise, but Elijah Just has got to score that.
I talked earlier on in the programme about all of the metrics that Motherwell have improved on from this season to previous 10 seasons. The conversion rate hasn't really gone up, and there's another example. That should be a goal.
Yeah, that could be the difference. In a tight game like that, a few chances. Yep. Very, very good chance there for
the great
Motherwell.
Effort, Kenny. Sorry, from Fadding on Motherwell turning the screw now.
Great
from
save.
about 20 yards, and another great save.
That's a goal at Bankside.
Right,
great save by the goalie.
Let's go back to the Scottish Cup. Tyrone Smith, Bankside against Ross County.
Yes, and it's a second goal for Ross County. It was a corner, it was swung in from the left-hand side. Jordan White had all the space that he would have wanted just to choose his spot and plant a header into the back of the net to make it 2-0 now to Ross County. Remember, they did take the lead after just 18 minutes. A really nice, crisp finish by Ronan Hale. Bankside, they have dug in. They've tried to make life awkward for Ross County, but that second goal looks to have knocked the stuffing out of them. So it's Bankside 0, Ross County 2.
Yeah, a few may have had that down as a potential shock today, but Tony Docherty's side doing the business despite a really poor time in the league for them this season. We'll bounce around the other grounds in the Scottish Cup in a couple of minutes, Tom, but just to go back to that game that Alan's at Dens Park. Two games in the bottom half of the table today, 5:45 start, full coverage on BBC Radio Scotland from Rugby Park. That's Dundee United away at Kilmarnock. But this game up here today at Dens Park, if Dundee can hang on, this would be a huge victory for them.
It would, because they've been on a lousy run, as have St Mirren. They haven't been scoring many goals at all. I've got two today. They've got their noses in front. Massive win if they pull it off, and creates more problems for St Mirren, a team that we feel it should be further up the table, but they're just not.
Right, back to the Scottish Cup. Let's get to Eastbend Park. Dunfermline home to Queen of the South. Chris Doolan.
It's 3-1 Dunfermline here, Kenny. Andy Todd breaks down the left-hand side and he clips a brilliant ball. His left foot, he just hangs it up to the back post. The winger comes on off the right-hand side, fires it off the post from about 2 or 3 yards, and it lands at Kasari's feet, and he's only a yard in and taps it in. And as I'm speaking, Kenny, it's been called offside. the linesman's just pulled the referee over and he's called it for offside, so scrap all of that. Still 2-1.
Right, but they are in control. Neil Lennon's side there. Let's stay then in the third round of the Scottish Cup. Let's get to Somerset Park, and a man that loves the Scottish Cup day out. Ayr United at home to Turriff United. Chick Young, what's happening?
I'm going to love a Scottish Cup night in and go up the road sharpish. This game is just about done and dusted, Kenny. It's 2-0 to Ayr United. They had the luxury of a missed penalty earlier on, remember. Danton Dowd missed that, and then he missed a great chance and was subbed, so it's been a great day for him. Curtis Main scored, Dylan Watchett scored to give Ayr United a 2-0 lead at half time, and they've been very much
in command of this game. I think the referee, who is Lloyd Wilson, should just blow his whistle and we can go up the road. It's all matter of fact, and nothing stunning is going to happen here. Over and out, 2-0 Ayr United.
Right, just before we go to our other game, let's get back to Fir Park. Ian McCall, a free kick for the home side.
Slattery's on it. Elijah Justice beside him, but I think it's Slattery's going to hit it. He's just getting about to take it just now. Oh, and another magnificent save. I think it was the deflection. Another great save from Swallow in the Hearts goal, but Motherwell are really pressing now to get the winner.
That was a good save. He's been a great signing, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done really well, yeah.
Yeah, just a wee replay coming in here.
It's all Motherwell now.
It is, yeah. And it was all Hearts briefly, Ian, but now it's completely flipped.
Yep.
Neither team seem to have that final bit of quality. And the frustrating thing is, they've got players on the pitch who have the quality to do it. It's just every single offensive player seems to be having an off day in front of goal, whether it be the killer pass, whether it be the finish.
Right, let's get back to the third round of the Scottish Cup and head for Starts Park. Raith Rovers at home to Alloa Athletic, and get an update from Brian McLaughlin.
Yes, Kenny, 8 minutes left and it's Raith Rovers 1, Alloa 0. The only goal coming after 28 minutes. Jordan Doherty finishing off excellent work down the right hand side by Dylan Easton and Paul McMullen. A side foot finish from around 12 yards. Alloa have been much better though in the second period. They brought on the veteran striker Connor Salmon, and he had a great opportunity to equalise, but his shot ended up in the side netting. Both sides have made substitutes, but so far it's still at a very narrow 1-0 advantage, but Alloa throwing everything at the Raith defence. 7 minutes left, Raith 1, Alloa 0.
And Brian, you were saying earlier on, you spoke to the new manager, you interviewed Doug England before the game, he said he got a terrific reception up there.
Absolutely magnificent reception from, there's not a big, on you go, Chick.
Yeah, it's not a goal for United, Brian. I'm going to let you go on there because it's going to be a matter of fact victory. 3-0 for them now. It's a great goal actually. The school of Jude Bonner dinking in from the left hand side.
Yeah, had a good chat with Dougie Emery before the game, Kenny. Delighted to be here at Stars Park. He sees a real positivity around this football club. They're in 6th place at the moment, but they're only 4 points off the playoff positions, and they a real opportunity for Dougie Emery to possibly take Raith Rovers into the Premiership, certainly to make the playoffs anyway. But it's been a good start so far for Dougie Emery. They dominated proceedings in the first half. They really should have had this game out the side, but it's just a 1-goal advantage. But Alloa much better in the second period, as I say. 1-0 to Raith. So far, 6 minutes left to play.
It does look, Rory, a good bit of business, doesn't it, from Raith Rovers? He's now quite an experienced manager, Dougie Emery.
Yeah, and whilst Raith Rovers don't have millions to spend, of course, they probably do have more available to Dougie Emery than Morton had, and he's shown that he's capable of competing. And Morton's goal, yes, they will probably look to make the playoffs, but I don't know if they would be expected to from the outside. Raith Rovers are, so it'll be interesting to see how he deals with that step up. Maybe a little bit more funds available to him in terms of wages available to players, and who he recruits in January. But I think it's a shrewd bit of business.
Right, in the Scottish Cup, Edinburgh City have equalised away at Camelon Juniors. Lewis MacArthur with that goal there. One apiece, 81 minutes, that goal coming. Let's get back to the top flight in that game at Dens Park. We spoke about the magnitude of this one, Alan Preston. It was a real setback, of course. It was a terrible goal for Dundee to lose on the 27th minute, but they fought back an own goal from Gogish and then Dre Wright on 39 minutes. If they can hang on, would be good value for that, Alan?
It's been a close game. Dundee have defended better, clearly, apart from that mistake from Robertson in the first half, but St Mirren just not done enough, Kenny, and if this result stays the same as Dundee leapfrog St Mirren and they're going into a cup final, this will be one win in 8 if they lose this one today, and they're picking up bookings now as well. But we're into the last 5, we've got 5 minutes to go plus whatever is added on. I've got to say Dre Wright has been brilliant for them, playing left back then right back, scored the second goal, been excellent for Dundee. But Stephen Presley is desperate for this result.
Yeah, no doubt at all about that, Rory. We spoke again before kick-off there of the size of this game today. It's been a really disappointing run for St Mirren in the league. Of course, they're through to a League Cup final. That to look forward to in December. So both sides with their struggles, but you just feel, in particular, Stephen Presley wasn't the most popular appointment. He really needs this.
Yeah, I think it was the circumstances which, he came in. I don't think the dismissal of Tony Docherty was it would have been a section of supporters possibly, but I think in the main it was seen as a surprise. I don't think supporters were overly keen to see him leave the club, so he was up against it straight away. Stephen Presley, through no fault of his own, and he's come in and he's recruited, and it's taken a little bit of time for some of the players he's signed to hit the ground. Congreve has. Today will be big, but a lot of these games between these clubs involve last minute goals, so they just need to stay concentrated for the next 5 or 6 minutes, get the 3 points, and get up the road. Say up the road, they're at home. Get home.
What chance a late goal at Fir Park. Ian McCall is there for us. The league leaders' Hearts away at Motherwell, who've been absolutely flying in recent weeks. Last we were with you, Ian, the home side piling on the pressure.
They still were. They had Hearts penned in for 5-10 minutes. They're still pressing really, really high up the pitch, and they've had 2 or 3 good chances. Elijah Just had 2 chances. Who incidentally, Elijah Just, he can play. He really can play. He's had 2 great chances. Other than that, Hearts haven't really offered anything in the last 10-15 minutes, and it's Motherwell that are really, really pressing for the winner, and Hearts look as if
it looks like that's it. Wrapped up by Dundee. It's a brilliant hit. Wow, I think was it Wesley? I think it is.
It's a peach.
Wesley in that position again, Alan.
What a hit that is. He's
great goal.
Smashed it from one end of the box into the far corner, giving Shamal George absolutely no chance. The Mirren fans are on their way home. Dundee, it looks like they're getting a much needed 3 points. What a goal. 3-1 Dundee.
It's full time at Somerset Park. Kenny United cruising through. 3 goals to 0 plus a missed penalty kick. It's there 3, Turriff 0.
Right, thanks to Chick. So we just had a wee look again at that goal up there at Dens. It was special, Rory.
Yeah, it was good. He picked up a nice position again, just on the left hand side of the area. Takes a touch inside and opens his foot up, finds the far corner. Did say often in these games there's late goals. Well, it's went the right way of Dundee from their perspective. Give the ball away in the pitch, St Mirren. It's a good press. The ball's played out to the left hand side, outside of the right boot, touch inside of the right boot, into the far corner. Game, set and match. 3-1.
Yeah, another sore one for St Mirren, Tom. It was a late defeat, of course, at home to Celtic last Saturday evening. The cup aside, it's been pretty desperate in recent weeks for Stephen Robinson's team.
It has, yeah. I mean, again, conceding goals. I think they've lost their mojo. Consider, that's a lovely strike from Wesley with 3-1 and pretty emphatic for Dundee. St Mirren, I mean, that's one win and ace now, down to 10th in the table, I think. They've got a lot of problems to fix.
Cup final a fortnight tomorrow.
Yeah, they're going into that on the back of a horrendous run.
Come on, confidence get a point tonight. They're in the playoff spot.
Yeah, like, it's fair play to Dundee. They'd scored, I think, 9 goals in 13 games coming into this today, and they scored 3 in one game. I mean, that is one thing I did not see coming. They scored 3 goals.
I said last week, Dundee are just one of these teams that people have predicted down, but they seem to be able to pull an iron out the fire. And a lot of people say you'd rather lose a couple and then win one and then lose 3 to win a couple than pick up constant draws. So
what a chance to win. Well, chances to win this game, Kenny. The boys have been talking, a lot of action going on, and I'm telling you, St John's have had 3 chances to win it, and then Cove nearly nicked it with a minute to go. Iguiabo, the substitute, it was poor play from St Johnson, gave it away in the edge of the box. He's 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, 13 yards, and he just reverses it. The goalkeeper brings off a great save. Should have scored. St Johnson, McPake, Gullen, fathering them all. Pep on the goal, they can't win it, but there's some finish to this game. Both teams trying for a winner, wide open.
Yeah, and Billy, we should give a lot of credit to Cole.
Here is McPake. Oh, he's overdone it. Oh my word. It's, you can hear the natives, they're not happy with the performance.
And it's been a really tough season for Cove. He struggled to even fill the bench, hasn't he, Paul Hartley? This would be amazing. Even just getting this one to extra time and penalties would be some achievement.
Yeah, Stewart and Maguire's changed it. They've given that a bit of experience, but they've shown a real experience on the ball, just keeping it and believing that they can play at this level and just showing that they've still got a bit to offer, and it's changed the game for Cove. And then obviously Megginson getting the goal, but it's been wide open. Yeah, Saints probably should have gone on and won it, but my word, Cove had the best chance to win it, and it's still ongoing, Kenny.
Right, full time in the Cup. Airdrie 4, Hamilton Accies 0, Benburn 0, Montrose 3. Let's get back to that big game then at Fir Park this afternoon, deep into the closing stages. Ian McCall is there for us. Any sign of a winner, Ian?
There isn't really, Kenny, but although it's not been, it hasn't been a great game because both boxes haven't been used enough. But you can send me to watch Motherwell again, though, because they are exciting to watch. I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's just they've had the two best chances of the game. Lawrence Shankland had a good header, really athletically cleared off the line by Hendry. But the two best chances of the game were for Elijah Just, who looks like he's a key man for Motherwell. But they were both. For me, they were coming at the sitter variety. One was a header, all the pace was on the cross, just had to direct it in the corner. Another one was a great bit of skill by the same player, but created a 1-on-1 with the goalie and just hit the goalie with it rather than slide it past him. So listen, it's not a great game, but you can tell they're two good sides.
Ian, you've consistently said that it just feels different this season when it comes to Hearts.
Full time 1-1 here at McDermott.
So you're coming away from that game today and you're saying, you can send me to watch Motherwell again, which kind of stood out to me, not Hearts.
The only thing I'll say is if this
full time at Bankside, 2-0 Ross County.
If it finishes 0-0, I'm not sure. I think Derek McInnes, if they beat Kilmarnock on Wednesday night, I think they'll take the 4 points out of 6. But it's not done yet. Here's Motherwell on the attack.
So your feeling when it comes to Hearts hasn't changed, Dean, based on the last 5 or 6 games?
Listen, I'm not saying they'll win it, but I don't think they'll go away. I don't think it'll be like an Aberdeen like last season. No, I don't think they'll let an Aberdeen and totally collapse. I just don't think that'll happen.
I mean, Tom, you were saying earlier on that we're going to learn a lot about Hearts this afternoon. You're off the back of a couple of poor results. They've been very much in this game. They had their spell probably at the start of the second half. But the whole fire now. Derek McInnes happy to leave there with a point. Right, 1 second. Let's get back to Dens Park. Alan Preston.
Oh, it's a hit. Decent enough hit as well from Ayunga. Ball's played to him at the edge of the box. Left foot shot, smashes off the bar and away. Bounces out. Still 3-1 to Dundee. We're into 4 added on minutes.
Back to the Scottish Cup. 4-0 Partick Thistle 2. Alex Samuel in the 93rd minute. Tom, just back to Hearts.
Yeah, I think he'd be happy with the point with the way the game has gone, because Hearts haven't really played anywhere near their level of earlier on in the season. So he'd be grateful for a point, I think. But I think he's going to be really disappointed with his team's performance here. They haven't really fired a shot in the game.
I mean, that's true, but historically Motherwell is one of the really, really tough grounds to come from to come and get a result. And if everybody has said this season this is the best team Motherwell's had for years, so therefore it's an even tougher ground to come and get a result.
It is, absolutely, but if it's 1 win in 5 now. Yep. It's on the back of that, Ian. It's.
And what, Tom? You were adamant it would be top 2 Hearts. What do you think now? You still think top 2? I know you and Billy had a bit of a discussion.
I still think top 2.
Yeah.
I do, because I think Rangers are all over the place. Celtic are beginning to get it together now, but then you've got the uncertainty of the new manager coming in. Martin O'Neill has turned that around and has got them pointing in the right direction now. So I think Celtic will be fine and will probably win the league. But I don't think Hearts are going to go away. But this. It's the ineffectiveness of Kirsaridas, Shankland and Braga. That's kind of concerning for me a little bit. They haven't been in this game.
We're talking about stats. They're saying 1 win and 5. It's 1 defeat and 14.
Yeah, I know.
So it's whatever way you want to paint the stats.
It is.
And that's what you're doing,
Yeah, it
you're
is.
Painting it in a negative. It's one defeat and 14.
No, but I'm
full time at Fort Park. It finishes 0-0.
I'm looking at it.
1 defeat and 14.
I'm looking at it from the context of can they win the league? And 1 win in 5 in the context of can they win the league?
Being realistic, no one's won the league apart from Celtic and Rangers in 40 years.
This is not what we've been talking about for weeks. Can they win the league?
And what's the answer been from everybody?
Well, I think the answer has been a bit mixed. They can. They probably won't.
Ian McCall said it just felt a bit different this season, for example.
I think he said he's won the league.
I'm not down on Hearts biscuits. I'm just saying 1 win in 5 is not great for Derek McInnes. I don't think Derek McInnes is going to be jumping up and down and with this performance
East
today.
End Park, Kenny. Dunfermline 2, Queen of the South 1.
Full time Starts Park, Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa 0.
Thanks to Brian. We'll do a classified for you shortly.
I think Hearts are better than the performance than we saw today. I know they're playing up against a good team, absolutely, but their front guys, the guys who've been causing such damage this season, weren't really in this game at all, and that is disappointing. And forget about stats.
Oh, good save.
That's a fact. It's disappointing performance.
Right, Peterhead 2, Greenock Morton 2. Kieran Shanks equaliser there in the 95th minute. Also in the Scottish Cup, Eldon City equalised at home to Stirling Albion in the 96th minute. Yes, Alan Preston.
Dundee 3, St Mirren 1 full time. Massive 3 points for the home side.
Yeah, certainly is. We'll do the table as well for you in a few minutes' time, but that win moves Dundee up to 9th in the table. They are above St Mirren there. Let's get back to Ian McCall. There seems to be some things happening on the park there towards the end of the game. They're in a bit of friction.
Yeah, well, listen, if you were here, Kenny, you'd have made a huge deal about it, and it would have been the back of the Sunday Mail tomorrow. But I think it was Masonisi was unhappy about something, but it's absolutely fine now. Motherwell fans are going to clap their own fans. Hearts fans are going to clap their own fans, and I think tomorrow morning, although it wasn't a classic, I'm not sure both managers wouldn't be too unhappy with the draw. I mean, personally, I wish we'd had 2 or 3 goals for either side or whatever, but Motherwell are a good side and they will progress into the top 6, I'd imagine, and I don't think Hearts are going anywhere.
Saeed does raise his hand and push Devlin in the throat, so it'll be interesting to see if there's any repercussions when it comes to that, as Derek McInnes seems a bit unhappy.
Yeah, Derek McInnes looks unhappy.
He seems to be pointing up at the stand. Something or other.
Yeah, something's happened there. Derek McInnes was speaking to a security lead there, and he was pointing up towards the stand. And
maybe somebody shouted, I don't know.
Somebody had shouted it's only 1-1-5, and he went, well, it's actually 1 defeat.
Very good, Rory.
Nice one, Rory. Been in good form today. So now look to a late winner at home to Clydebank, Ryan Edgar on 91 minutes there. Ian, just before we leave you for now, it's interesting because I covered the game on Tuesday night when Motherwell were fantastic against Hibs. Lee Miller, Scott Allen, their first time watching Motherwell that night, raving about, and they could kind of see what all the fuss has been about. And you feel something similar today?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as the boys were saying, after listening to them, but yeah, I mean, they're a good side, and if any team deserved to win the game, it was Motherwell, just because of the 2 great chances they had in the second half. It's quite clear they want teams to try and come onto them. They want teams to try and high press them because they want to play through that. They want to release fullbacks through that high press. They're too holding, you'd say, central midfielders. There's almost as if there's a 20-yard bit of string beside them, because they never ever are further apart than that, which gives them a good balance. And ultimately they've got a lot of good players that are comfortable with the ball. And as I said in the commentary, they've got real pace, but I think the pace comes in the amount they pass the ball and the pace they pass the ball. They've got 1 or 2 flying. Masonisi is really, really quick, but they're very, very fluent when they pass the ball, and I think sometimes when you move the ball quickly you look like a quick team, and it doesn't necessarily mean you've got quick players. But listen, they're a good watch. You can understand why everybody's is talking about them. Listen, they won't go away. They seem to have a really good squad. They made 4 or 5 changes today. They made 5 in midweek, so they'll certainly be up there in and around the top 6. And as for Hearts, I don't think they played very well. They'll be very happy. The 2 centre-backs came back and they kept a clean sheet. At half-time, Motherwell were the better team in the first half, but they had no chances apart from the offside goal. The goalkeeper wasn't tested. Second half, for the last 15-20 minutes, after we felt Hearts were really trying to start to turn the screw, Motherwell could have went and won it then. They took a couple of great chances. The goals had 2 or 3 really good saves. So any team deserved to win it was probably Motherwell. Hearts will probably be happy with a point.
Yeah, we'll get more details. We'll go around the grounds. I've got a commentary team there alongside Ian as well. There was that option today. Remember, there's a 5:45 commentary to come on BBC Radio Scotland. Again, it's at the bottom of the table. It's a big game there tonight. That is Kilmarnock at home to Dundee United. We'll have a look at the significance of these 2 3:00 games in terms of the Premiership table. But right now, we'll do the classified scores for you, including, of course, so many games in the Scottish Cup. But first of all, the Scottish Premiership today, as we've just been hearing. Dundee 3,